Prophet Marcello Currents. So this video is going to be about 24/7 meditation on the destruction of America. We're talking about now 24/7 humdrum meditation on the destruction of America. This is how it is. You know, we're not going to play beef cartoon games. I'm going to show you the difference. I'm going to show you a real man's game. I'm going to show you a real man's game. Constant 24/7 meditation, humdrum. And see, the more you do it, the more it's just, you're going to just have it navigating, progressing, and advancing forward. It's a constant meditation. And this is the way I've been wanting to say it, because you could get defocused for whatever reason. Excuse me. For whatever reason, you could get defocused and you're distracted by whatever out here, and you're distracted by maybe a little love that they're giving you. We're no longer even distracted by love, gifts, money. We're not food. We're not distracted by nothing, because the wise man sees you're still not getting what you need, which is your respect. You're still not getting your respect, right? They still playing with you. Okay. So you know what you do? You click on 24/7 meditation of their destruction. Just like you turn on the light, click 24/7 meditation on their destruction. That means at all times you're meditating on their destruction. This is like, some of you that are on spiritual levels get this meditation type point when you're angry and you're meditating on destruction happening out here in the community. But what I'm trying to show you is how to keep that humdrum. And the first way you keep that humdrum 24/7, this meditation, this inward meditation on the destruction of America, for God to perform it, is that first, foundationally, you got to have America as the enemy. Well, how can you see? That's going to be the main thing that's going to stop you. Your confusion on if they're the enemy or not. They are the enemy, okay? They've used enough forces against you for you to know that. Okay, boom. So the next step for us, responding to that, that's why it's a legitimate war. See, all you got to prove is you have a legitimate war. If they play with you, you have the right to defend yourself. I don't care. I'll tell the government, I'll tell Trump to his face, if your community opposes me, I have the right to defend myself. I'll tell your president to his face, and I mean that with all my mind, heart, and soul. I tell, because I know I got you in a corny place as a whole community. I know I got you. See, unlike other people, I don't have to prove. Everybody know what they done to me. Everybody know. Okay, so a lot of people know. So listen, I tell your corny president, I tell your corny community to their face what my intentions are. To fight back. That's what my intentions are, by spiritual means. And it's nothing you can do about it. It's nothing you can do about it. Your country was under the impression that it could play with a soldier like me. Those are clowns. I'm a soldier. I don't deal with clowns that play psychological games. No, I'm a soldier. Okay? I've been esteemed as a soldier by military. Just in case you think it's a game. See, some people are natural soldier boys. You ever heard of that? I'm a natural soldier boy, buddy. Good old North Carolina soldier boy. Okay, so this time the South wins in the Civil War. The Yankees didn't win this time. First time you won because your cause was good. This time your cause is bad, and now the South wins this second Civil War. Being that I'm from North Carolina. And what we're going to do is we're going to meditate 24/7 in meditation against this whole country. We don't care about them little people out there. That's nothing. I can sense them roaches. That we don't care nothing about them. What they don't want us to focus on is meditation, 24/7 meditation on the destruction of the whole entire community. So, I don't know if you know how to meditate as a Christian in a spiritual way. It's almost like finding a point of reality in this case. In this case, you're thinking about a point of reality of these people being destroyed. And it's like focusing on the spot on the wall. Instead of focusing on the spot on the wall, you're focusing on a reality in your mind, a visual even, a reality, an atmosphere, and what consists of that atmosphere. And you're meditating 24/7, and it may get more complex when you see details of this destruction, and you meditate on details of the destruction of America. Okay? 24/7 meditation. And see, once you do that, after a while, your aura and energy gets momentum, and you don't really even have to do it as hard as you once did, because now the momentum is going. The momentum is going, right? And so now you're mobile with a consistent meditation of the destruction of America. You're mobile with it. Now it's just in you. This is why you can't have nothing to do with people that are behind anymore. If they don't know that America's the enemy, listen, what can we do? Sit there and try to reason as they do, or try to figure it out as they do? We already know too much for us to think that it's any hope. We know too much for us to think that there's any hope. It's no hope. It's no hope. They're the enemy, and God is on our side, and God is manifesting destruction. That's why all these storms are happening in the weather, all different manners of storms from the west coast to the east coast. The writing is on the wall. Okay, we're doing real good. That's why you got to stay right now real focused, because they're going to start crashing out. Oh yeah, they're going to start crashing out. In fact, they already started crashing out. We just ain't going to let them line us up like they think they got us in a jam. You ain't got me in a jam, buddy. Listen. I got my program going. Just like you meditating on us, we're going to meditate on your country. That's fair enough, right? For all the witchcraft and all the psychological games, that's considered a constant meditation against you, right? Right. They meditating against you, right? They constantly meditating on your atmosphere, right? Okay, so as a result, we're going to meditate against their whole community, just like they meditating against us. Okay? You didn't realize the full man I already was. I already got a reputation for destroying your country. It's already done. This is the icing on the cake. We don't give anybody any reputation here. Those are roaches. Gang stalkers, Freemasons, and other secret societies are labeled as roaches in this war now. They roaches. So They want you to say, hey, over here, don't fight all of America. Hey, over here. That's all they want you to do. They want you to, because they're so bitter about what they caused, they want you to focus on them, and they want to take the blame. They want to fight you one-on-one. It's too late for that. You had your chance to fight me one-on-one a million times. Okay, that's over. We're now looking at all the people they used, because everybody that they used against you and me wasn't part of that community, and that's what you gotta accept. Everybody they used against you was not part of no secret society. Okay, you get that right. They used the community against you. They used your neighborhood, the people in your neighborhood. They used the whole city against you. How is that a secret society? This came outside of a secret society where they used the Americans in guerrilla warfare. Go look up guerrilla warfare. If you are a Christian, all you went through with these Americans was guerrilla warfare. That's what you went through. They think I'm stupid. I got the real terms. You know what guerrilla warfare is? And I'm going to be using that term moving forward. Guerrilla warfare is when they use the whole community against you. When they mobilize and weaponize the whole community. That's what they thought would be cool with me. They thought it would be cool to mobilize and guerrillalize, if that's a word, if you will, and make the whole community be in guerrilla warfare against me, right? That's all it is. So guerrilla warfare is when they use civilians and neighborhood community people in psychological warfare against you. So that's why you go to the store and it's enemies. And your neighborhood is enemies. What basically has happened is that they mobilized America in guerrilla warfare. That's what happened. This is basically guerrilla warfare. This is basically how World War III started, in guerrilla warfare. Psychological guerrilla warfare, where they're using the whole community against you. They're communicating to everybody that you're the enemy. They're communicating to these stores. I want you to see how far the rabbit hole goes. They're communicating to the stores, the restaurants, all the department stores that you and I are the enemy. That's how corny these people are. Okay, so in order for them to do that, they're slipping in police to go communicate that to these department stores and restaurants. Because who else is going to take, what restaurant is going to take somebody off the street seriously? Even if they call themselves a Freemason, they still not going to take them seriously. So how do they go and get guerrilla warfare going against you in the community? The police. They the ones get that started. Because if the police come in and say, you're a pedophile, okay, then who you think the community, the average person at a store is going to believe it? They're going to believe the police. They're going to give it credibility because it's the police. That's how you know that these people are going and using the police, the Freemason police, to go and cause guerrilla warfare to be against you in your neighborhood and in the department stores and restaurants and grocery stores. The only way that could get started like that is the police. Because they the only ones that can persuade restaurants against you. They the only ones that can persuade department stores to be utilized against you. They the only ones that can mobilize hospitals and doctor offices. They the only ones that can mobilize all of this community against you, because ain't nobody gonna take no hoodlum seriously. Think about it. You got a bum Freemason that's not a police officer and walks into a store. How can he or she command anybody? This is how we know it's the police. Because The police is the only one that can go out here and command the community and mobilize the community to be eyes and ears against you. And those police are Freemason police and other secret society police. Okay? That's the only way that they can mobilize these people against you, and people take whatever they saying seriously. How you think the whole community took it seriously? The police. The police made everybody take it seriously. I want you to meditate on that. The police made everybody take it seriously. That means black people, restaurants like McDonald's, where they're gang stalking you. This is why we meditating on their destruction. This is why. Because the police, especially these redneck police, all throughout the country, love to hunt black people. They love to hunt. They like to play games because they ain't really doing nothing. Right? So it's their time to feel like they're creating a legacy, and they destroyed the community. The police are the ones that did it. If you don't know, or you don't think I know, it's the police that's against us. It's the police that's against me. Well, how can gangsters do this? They can't. The reason why they can't is back to my point. They can't mobilize community against you. Police can. They can go tell people you're a known pedophile and you ain't even never been registered as a sex offender. You ain't never done no crimes. They ain't got no records of you doing any sexual crimes. But they'll say you're a known. They'll go tell department stores you're a known pedophile. That's why that's why it's destruction. And God doesn't care about the police institution in America or the good that they do anymore because of what they've done to us. So now, no matter what good they do with kids and charities and going and taking pictures with kids, none of that matters anymore. Because you mobilized, the police of America mobilized the community of America against us in guerrilla warfare over stupid stuff. That's how you know it's them, because they the only one gonna get goofy about stuff like that. No one cares. I mean, if you ain't got no charges, no one really would care, because it's not enough room to care. Now, a dumb cop is gonna have this passion to get the bad guys. You see what I'm saying? And you're not gonna have that, are you? Not this super passion to get the bad guys, and ain't no charges on the table. Only a cop is gonna be foolish enough to play with me or you with no charges. Only a cop is gonna be passionate enough to play with me and you, and they ain't got no charges on the table. Everybody else can kind of leave it alone. Oh, well, that person ain't doing nothing. We don't see him doing nothing. Who's gonna keep going? A redneck cop. That's who's gonna keep going. That's who's gonna keep going. That's who's gonna mobilize people against you because they can't beat you. And now the cops, the American cops, know they cause so many problems. They don't even want to live no more. That's you know who's suffering? You know who's suicidal? The police. The American police are suicidal. You know why? Because they mobilized all these facilities, neighborhoods, and all these people against us, hoping that they could catch us psychologically. This is how you know these are these hunter police cops. They think that if they could just catch us psychologically, that would be good enough. So we are against the police. Yes, I'm anti-cop. That's right. I am anti-cop. I am anti-police. That's right. If you play with my life, one thing about America, If I can convince them that you play with my life like you did, you and I know they will have no problem with me making you the enemy. You can hold that white boy police image with white boys, right? And corny white boys. Good Americans is not gonna side with you, but you already losing your reputation as police. You already losing it. You already lost it. All the killings that you've done lately, you don't have that credibility that you once had in the 80s. That's gone. You're not the A-Team no more. You're not G.I. Joe. Okay? You've been killing too many black people. That time is gone. So, catch up to date where you don't really have any credibility as police. We don't respect you. I don't respect you. I don't respect you. Neither does my God respect you. God ain't with you. So you can use any scripture of the avenger with the sword. That's not you anymore. You played with God's people. You seen we were doing nothing. You still played with us, didn't you? Because you got all kind of demons among these the American police. Yeah, I know. Gay demons, lesbian demons, all kind of filthy demons among these American police. You could tell all the tattoos they got on them. You could tell something ain't right about them. It's something sketchy about them. All them tattoos they got, you could tell it's something sketchy about these cops. And it's the truth. It's the truth. You can't trust them. They played all these games with us. Now we are meditating on 24/7 destruction on their country. See, they don't want it to come out to the community, where the community has to suffer for this. But they used, the police used the community. Okay? So if you don't understand, it's the Freemason police. That's who it is. And in God's kingdom is against them. We're against them. So you don't have to feel like, well, God is going to be on their side because they're doing good. Not anymore. They done so much wrong that it doesn't matter what good they do anymore. They have done so much wrong, it doesn't matter what good they do anymore. That's gone. So if they stupid enough to think they're going to go out there and do a little good and God going to be on their side, nope. You're not going to be able to do a little good and God is on your side. You mobilized the American community in guerrilla warfare against Christians. The police have been against Christians. Okay? That's exactly how you need to hear it. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly who's making these people go against you. That's it. Think about it. If it was thugs, it would have been over. It would have been more violent. So it ain't thugs. If it was thugs, it would have been over. You would have went to war with them by now. Okay? You would have had one, a thug would have came and brought people to you by now to talk to you. That's how they move. So who's going to be consistently playing all these games? Hunters. Redneck hunters are those influenced by rednecks to hunt people. That's who is against you. Okay? That's who against me. It's the police, man. Okay? So, how you know is who is going to take people seriously to where they can rally people against you? Who are they going to take seriously to rally? Who can be taken seriously to rally people against you? The police. That's who they're using. They go into, when I'm telling you what they do, they go into stores. I caught one of them. I caught one of them in San Francisco. He didn't think I caught him. In Safeway. in the grocery store. This undercover detective-like police. He went and talked to the people in the grocery store. I seen him. I heard him. I heard him talking when he was leaving. Talking about, yeah, you know, this person, this and that, and that. Like he know me. Like he heard something about me. Or he could prove something about me. And I could tell how he walked out. He was a cop. This is what they've been doing the whole time. These cops have been going into the grocery stores before you get there. And they're telling the whole grocery store that there's some known pedophile that's about to come in here, and we're gonna try to see if we can catch him in this pedophilia mindset. They're going to utilize and put you in neighborhoods where those grocery stores have mind readers and telepaths and psychics in the grocery stores. So what these police do is put you in a neighborhood full of mind readers. They put you in a neighborhood full of mind readers. The whole neighborhood is full of mind readers. A whole community of mind readers. And they go into the store and tell them to take position. See the sirens? Because it's a state of emergency. That's what that is. That's what that means. That's a state of emergency. Anytime you are making videos and you're making good points and you hear the police sirens, that's a state of emergency. They're trying to get people to attack you now. That's the sound to it. That's the sound to attack you. Okay? They use a whole collective community of mind readers in these stores and restaurants. So if you're a high target like me, what they'll do is set. They have communities of mind readers, all in one little community, like aliens in a little community, right? They'll drop you down to the police, especially if you get housing through the government. The police will come in and set you into a neighborhood with nothing but mind readers, nothing but psychics and mind readers and telepaths, right? So wherever you go, that means fast food, that means department stores, grocery stores, wherever you go, they have a whole community of mind readers, psychological mind readers, telepaths, and they drop you down in these neighborhoods to see if they can entrap you in your character, in your psychology as a pedophile, which means basically they're trying to see if they can get a bad thought on you. Enough room to say, well, inside we found out with mind readers that he is a pedophile. That's how far the police has went against me and you. So if you don't understand what it is, I've just explained it in a nutshell. They put you, or they form a community of mind readers around you. Dirty cops that don't care about abiding by the law. Okay, you got two sides of the law as far as police. Cops and dirty cops. That's all it is. That's basically what it is. And you just thought dirty cops were just guys that do a little stuff on the side. Dirty cops have formed whole organizations, whole movements against you, me and you. That's all it is. This is how far dirty cops go. Okay? Now, the good news is they've destroyed America with this foolishness that I just described. These whole communities of mind readers. They've destroyed the whole community. Right? And now they don't know what to do. It's the police. That's who it is. That's all it is. They have went and worked with the community against me and you. And it's not just me. It's more than me. How I know? Because other people complain about the same thing, but they don't know who it is. It's the police. That's who it is. And it's a lot of American citizens that have been keeping it back. We don't care what it's about. I don't care if you heard I had sex with animals or I made a child have sex with animals. I don't care if you said I had sex with cousins and children. I don't care what you heard, because it's not justifiable to destroy the whole community for some random pedophile. That's what it sounds like to me. So then when people find that you went as far to do all of this against one person and you got a whole community of pedophiles, they gon' at some point they have to destroy you because you become like a rabid dog. That's like if these dirty cops just start destroying America just to catch this one guy. What are you forced to do? You're forced to destroy the cops because you've become such a redneck hunter, or those influenced by redneck hunters, that you start to destroy the community just to catch this one guy. So what we gonna have to do? Eventually we're gonna have to shut you down. And basically that's what God is doing in a nutshell. God is shutting down rabid cop hunters that couldn't have a seat and couldn't sit down once they've been put to defeat. I beat the cops so many times, it's not even funny. Now you see the caliber of man I am. I figured it all out. Yeah, you got information from my brother, didn't you? The cops got information from Tremaine Houston, didn't they? But you know what? Oh, what he was talking about? Oh, a dog, right? Bestiality. But look, but could you prove it? Could you prove any of that? Could you prove any bestiality with a dog? That's what Tremaine was talking about, wasn't he? I'm smarter than you thought, am I? That's why they got dogs in the building barking to insinuate, oh, well, this is what this is about. Guess what? I don't care what it's about. I don't care what it's about. You know how I figured this out? They kept insinuating dogs in Tremaine and dogs in Tremaine over and over again. It wasn't hard to figure out. Mixed with a little bit of sex, insinuation that you're like some kind of sex predator, right? But they can't prove it in details, and that's what we're talking about. Can you prove it in details? You can't, can you? And that's what we're talking about. In fact, isn't your country, in West Virginia, they still have bestiality allowed in one state. Okay, so one person versus one state in your country, I win, right? Okay, so if I was into bestiality, which I'm not, that's funny to me. But if I was, what's more powerful? One case of bestiality or one whole state, a state with many counties, West Virginia, having no laws against bestiality? What should a whole country go after? One case of bestiality or a whole state of bestiality? You still, as of December 28th, 2025, you still have a whole state of bestiality in your country that allows sex with animals. That state is the state of West Virginia. You didn't think I'd be up to date to be able to talk about it intelligently, didn't you? So while you're insinuating bestiality based on whatever you heard, I can show you where Americans are actually allowing communities to do it. Right here in the state of West Virginia. All the counties in West Virginia. I'm going to count up all the counties in West Virginia, and I'm going to talk about it even more intelligently, where all these counties in West Virginia can have sex with animals right now in America. So what you going to fight? One case that you don't got no details to, which means you're just insinuating details. Well, tell us the details. What actually happened? Why I'm challenging you on the details, because I know I know what I've done in my life and what I haven't done. So I'm challenging you on the details. What's the details? So details were insinuated, but you don't know if they were done. You don't really know the details, do you? See, when you go to court, that's what they're gonna do to you. You're insinuating bestiality, but what's the details? Tell us what actually happened in real time. What actually took place? Not what was attempted. We ain't talking about what was attempted. No, what actually took place. Tell us the details. That's when you go to court. They're gonna say, okay, we see the complaint that you have. The problem is, what are the details of that complaint? You see what I'm talking about, right? What's the details? You went and told people details that you couldn't prove, and you don't even know that it happened. That's why I'm challenging you on the details. What's the details? Of anything. Pedophilia, bestiality. What's the details? That's how you know I'm innocent. You know how you know? In the context of being a pedophile or whatever you're talking about, you can't produce details. Okay, so all you did was influence people on the subject of pedophilia without details. You influence people concerning sexual perversion, but you can't tell us what the details is. But the subject influenced people to produce their own details that you couldn't prove in this situation. So you just came to people with the subject matter of bestiality, pedophilia, but with no details. But the Jedi mind trick is people you're insinuating details that you don't know happened. Well, tell us the details. We want to hear, no, not subject matter. We got the subject matter. The subject matter is you talking about pedophiles and bestiality. What's the details of what actually happened? That's what happens when you go to court. You get shredded to pieces. And now we want to know what's the details of each situation that you're talking about. We want to know literally what the details are. Because you're Jedi mind tricking and just giving us the subject matter or the subject topic, and everybody and that's insinuating details that you couldn't prove. Where's the details? We got the subject matter from the morons, right? The morons gave us the subject matter. Where's the details? What's the details? Oh, do you need details for you? Okay, the details for you as a community is in West Virginia, you have no laws against bestiality. That's the details for you. The details for you is you have child marriage laws in 34 states of America. That's how you do it. That's the details. You marry children in the United States of America. That's the details. Not the subject matter. The subject matter is pedophilia, right? The subject matter is bestiality. I produced details under the subject matter. Can you do the same thing? You're just talking about subject matter. What's the details? What's the details? You want your details again? Child marriage in 34 states. That's your details. You want your combo? Hey, like you at a restaurant. You want your combo? You want the details of your combo? See, you talk about a combo, right? A number 4. Okay, what's the details of number 4? I want to know what I'm getting. If you go to Wendy's, what separates the combos is the details, right? Okay, what's the details? Number 4 is a Baconator with fries and a Frosty. That's the details, right? It's not just a number 4. Who's going to buy just a number 4 if you don't know the details? Who's going to buy what you're talking about me, without details? What's the details? What's the details, buddy? I ain't tripping. Listen, I'm man enough to face everything you talk about. What's the details? That's what we want to hear. We want to hear all the details, including what age I was. Oh, that's important. If I was a child, that's getting dismissed and thrown out as pedophilia. Well, how a child is a pedophile? That's an oxymoron. Well, how is a child a pedophile? A pedophile is an adult that sexualizes children. How's a child a pedophile, buddy? See, you're retarded. See, these cops aren't as smart as they thought they was. You're not as smart as you thought you was. You mobilized the whole community against people with only subject matter, and they were stupid enough to go with subject matter without asking for details. No, you can't insinuate, and you can't let someone that's telling you insinuate. They got to give you details. Okay, you said this happened. Okay, we heard you said this. So what's the details of what? Tell us exactly what the details are of what happened, so we can figure out what happened. We're not, oh, you just said this happened, and we just and then we're just left to fill in the blanks of that reality. No, we want the details of that reality. That's why I could be a lawyer. We want the details of the reality. A cop can't be a lawyer. A cop just sits back stupid and watches the news while the court case goes on. All he does is haul you in. That's all he can do. He's not smart enough to be the lawyer. That's it right there. That's 7 out. See, your problem as a cop with all these people, you know what I realized? You wasn't smart enough to be a lawyer, buddy. All you do, all you do is haul people in. That's all you can do. You're built to haul people in. You're not built to do this, buddy. And how you know? Because now you done met somebody with the mind of a lawyer. I want you to show me the details. What's the details? We want, look, it's one reality. We want to know what that reality is. Down to the T. Down to the T, we want to know what the reality is. What's the details? The real time, real reality details. What's the details? So you just sold the whole community on the subject of the details. That stinks, buddy. That stinks real bad. That stinks real bad, buddy. You just listen. The Americans should be mad that you sold them on subject matter, and they insinuated the details that they don't know happened, that they can't prove to the community. You just sold everybody on subject matter. What's the details of the subject matter? What's the details of what happened? Because I know what I've done in my life. I know what age I was when I done what I've done. And I know I ain't never been 18 messing around no children. 18 is an adult. Okay, so anything I've ever done with other children, I was a child myself. And the best excuse you got is that you were a child yourself, right? Right. So you think I'm going to feel bad about something I did as a child? No. Why? Because your brain is not even fully developed. The brain of a child is not retarded. It's not retardation. It's called, a scientist or a doctor would tell you, it's called the brain of a child, which is undeveloped. Now, isn't it? So you think I'm going to judge the brain of an undeveloped child, an undeveloped human being? You think I'm going to judge what they do as fully developed, fully mature, fully developed brain activities of a person with a fully developed brain. A child doesn't have a fully developed brain. That's why they do stuff they do. You didn't think about that. No, here's some homework for the dumb cops. Go look at when the brain is fully developed. The brain isn't fully developed under 18. So who is going to judge? We talk about the science of all of this, not your little flaky feelings about certain people and their personas and personalities. No, we're going to get to all the way to the science of this, because that's what's going to defeat you. That's what's going to defeat you, is the science of this. Who's going to judge the brain of a child? Who wants to be that guy? Where you actually try to seriously define what a child has done. Anybody want to try to go out here and define what a child has done sexually? Like it was a serious sex act? Any act that a child does is not even completely serious. Oh, so children do serious sex acts that you take seriously. That stinks. Listen. You take seriously the acts of a child sexually. 100%. So if I had to ask you as a cop, how seriously do you take the sex acts of a child? On a pie graph, 50% serious, 20% serious. So how serious based on a child's mind, right? Not how you feel biasly towards this person. We're talking about a child. How seriously would you take the sex act of a child? If you had to go from 0% to 100%, as far as intention and understanding their own actions and intentions, keep in mind most sex acts from a child is halfway silly, experimental as well. So how seriously would you take the sex act of a child? So you wouldn't say 100%, would you? You wouldn't take the sex act of a child 100% serious in any circumstance. No circumstance, right? No, you wouldn't. You're going to talk about extreme cases of what you've done with children. We ain't talking about that. No, we ain't talking about that. That's the Jedi mind trick. I'm asking you, as far as the science of a child's brain, how seriously would you take the sex act of a child? On a scale from 0% to 100%, how serious would you take the sex act of any child? As this defines how this person thinks, this human being thinks. Would you define a child by how they think, by their sex acts that they've done as a child? Would you say that defines how that person thinks, especially as an adult? So you would say this is how this person thinks as an adult for what they done as a child that had an undeveloped brain, that the sex act wasn't even 100% serious. Wasn't even 100% serious. We established that it couldn't be because of the brain of the child. Not retarded, just any child doesn't have the healthiest child doesn't have a fully developed brain, right? So how seriously would you take the acts of a child? If you couldn't say 100%, no one would let you say that. So it's got to be under 100%. But we're going to see how you think, and we're going to get you out the way with what percentage that you give us, how you would gauge a child. What percentage would you say how serious the sex act is of a child? From 0% to 100%, how would you gauge it? 50% serious? 40% serious? 70% serious? Keep in mind all the logistics that is out of your hand, which is a child is a child with an undeveloped brain, experimenting sexually, innocently. It's a form of innocence to it, no matter what it is. And guess what? it's a dash of cruelty that children have in a sex act. Most of them. Because they don't really know what they're doing, right? And in the middle of not knowing what they're doing, couldn't it be a cruel act? Yes, it could. If you're a child and you don't know what you're doing, and you're experimenting, couldn't you produce cruel sexual acts? You're not as smart as you think you are, buddy. That's why I try to tell you, you were not qualified to be here. And that's how it's done. That's how it's done. Now, you know what God holds you responsible for? You shouldn't have never, listen, if you were not qualified, you shouldn't have never been here, buddy. And that's that. If you were not qualified, you shouldn't have never been here. Now, what we decide to do is now go into spiritual war with these police. Okay? Listen, they don't have no psychological control over me. The cops don't have control over lawyers. They have control over civilians. A lawyer looks at a cop like a goon. You're a blind goon to me. You're just a law enforcement. The courts are the ones that are going to make the final decision. The justices, the judges of the community, not you. See, in this case where the police gang stalked you and I, they tried to judge the situation. And they wasn't built to do it. They tried to be the lawyers. A cop trying to be a lawyer. Well, if you could be a lawyer, you would have been a lawyer. You're too stupid to be a lawyer. Well, let's pick the different vocations here. If you could have been a cop or a lawyer, which one would you be? A primetime lawyer or a primetime cop? Keep in mind, you're putting your life in danger every time you're on the beat. Every time you're on the beat, you're putting your life in danger, ain't you? So, I'm pretty sure your mom, your family would probably want you to go with, especially these days, with you being a primetime lawyer. But you ain't got the chops. You ain't got the goods, do you? So why are you out here acting like a primetime lawyer, buddy? No, there's one thing. It's one thing to be a detective. And some are not even good at that. It's another thing to be a justice over a courtroom. Oh, I know the difference. I know the difference. The one who ultimately decides what they believe happened. That's not you. Oh, let's boil it down to this. Is it the police decision to decide what really actually happened? That's it right there. That's the 7 out. Oh, the police decides. Show me a country where the police decides what happened. Now you see. See, dirty cops in America tried to decide what happened. Dirty cops with no education, they would have, if they were so smart, they would have did something else. Cops are not that bright. Don't let them fool you with that detective stuff. They're not that bright. Okay? Now, as far as the legal system, when you talk about bright, you're talking about lawyers and prosecutors and justices. That's bright. And you know what they're going to decide? You don't have details on what you was talking about this guy, do you? You know what the courts are going to decide when the lights turn on? Sir, but okay, we get what you're talking about. We get the accusation. Okay, now we have to go to the details. That's what we're here for. When you have two parties, one is going to have a complaint, the other one is defending themselves against the complaint, right? Okay, so we're going to go into the details of that complaint. That's the only way this is going to work. Otherwise, we could just decide to believe this person. But to avoid that and being biased, to avoid being biased for whatever reason, you have to get in here every day and give us details. And if you're not able to produce those details, you are not going to be able to paint a narrative for the community. And that's how it's done, sucker. While you thought, whatever you thought about me, I am way smarter than you and brighter than you. You know what I know? You have no details. You've told these people, you started this big stank in our community without details. You know what that's like. We want to know the details. What's the details? We get the subject matter. Okay, that's the Jedi mind trick. What's the details to the subject? What's the details to what you're talking about? And that's why all these people have made a fool of themselves. They're ignorant. This is America's most finest ghetto moment. Because it's all hearsay. Where's the details? What's the details? So you just sold everybody on subject matter, not details. You cause all these problems, but you don't know the details. Ask Tremaine, what's the details? No, see, if you were smart, you know what you would have done? You would have went in to the Matrix and got all the details. And you know what this means? See, you wouldn't even be bright enough to get all the details. No, you wouldn't. You know what would you have to do? You would have to get every single detail. You know what that would mean? Including my age, locations, times, dates, where the parents were. Considering the children left alone, how long were they left alone? When did that happen? On what situation did it happen? You're going to consider all the details. And then you're going to form your opinion. What's the details? I beat you at your own game. You marry children, don't you? That's the details. It's self-explanatory. If you marry a child, you're penetrating a child sexually, right? That's 7 out. You penetrate a child sexually if you married a child, right? Okay. In the state of New York alone, you have, this is how it's done. This is details. This is called details. That's what I produce, details. You got 385,496 cases of child marriage in the state of New York alone. Even though you got rid of it, you still got valid child marriage cases. Right? That's the details of pedophilia. It's self-explanatory. If a man marries a child in the state of New York, that's the details of pedophilia. If a man marries a child in the state of New York, that is the details that solidifies pedophilia. What's my details? Tell me my details. You have sex with animals in Virginia, West Virginia. You have sex with animals in West Virginia. That's the details. Sounds kind of funny. They say West Virginia. Virginia's for lovers. Hey, Virginia's for lovers. Virginia is for dog lovers, ain't it? Hey, they say Virginia is for lovers. Oh, well, the plot thickens. Virginia is the state of dog lovers. Romantic dog lovers. Romanticizing dogs. Roll that good bean footage. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Roll that beautiful bean footage. See, while you insinuating, I can produce details. All you can do is play psychological games just like a white boy. You know what you do, white boy? You insinuate without details, white boy. You know what you got to do, white boy? You got to get details like I do, white boy. Are you in trouble with God, white boy? Or black boy? Black boy, white boy, and everybody else that's a boy. Because you're not a man. Because you know what a man gonna do? Guess what a man gonna do? Produce details that nobody can deny. You know what nobody can deny? West Virginia is a state of dog lovers. They have sex with animals in West Virginia. You have 4 states. 4. Hawaii. Hawaii was having sex with animals. Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, go look at the history. We're talking about you're talking about my history, right? So I can talk about your history in validation of who you are, right? Well, it worked both ways. You're not talking about something I did today, are you? Well, I'm not talking about something you did today either. Well, we got rid of it. Well, I can say I got rid of it. Well, we got rid of it. Well, I can say I got rid of it. Especially with no charges. Hey, you got rid of it, didn't you? You see the double standard? You don't see it, do you? Oh, they say they got rid of it. But ain't they talking about my history? Or at least that's what they thought they was talking about. So why can't I talk about their history? Why can't I talk about their history? Okay, so if you talk about my history, why can't I talk about your history? Even though you got rid of it. Okay, so your history is in Hawaii, the main vacation destination spot of the American community, even New York. Everybody want to go to Hawaii. I mean, New Yorkers don't want to go to New York, do they? So where do New Yorkers want to go? They want to go to Hawaii, Honolulu. You want to go to Honolulu? You want to go to Honolulu? Maui? You want to go to Maui, don't you? Maui. You want to go to Maui and Honolulu? Honolulu, Honolulu. You want to go to Honolulu, don't you? Hey, man, look, man. They was having sex with animals in Hawaii. You know what it was? All those beautiful Hawaiian women, they couldn't do nothing wrong in the men's sight, could they? All those beautiful Hawaiian women, you ain't mind them doing nothing wrong. Nothing with an animal. You sit there and let an animal do whatever they want to do with them. With these Hawaiian women, that's what it was, wasn't it? Oh, listen, I'm just exploring the reality that you had Hawaiian women having sex with animals. I'm pretty sure that was the scenario. Oh, what it was, all those beautiful women, it was animals having sex with Hawaiian men. Hawaiian men was having sex with animals. You know what I think? I think Hawaiian women were having sex with the animals, and the men were watching them do all kind of perverted acts. And you know what? Because they were so beautiful, they didn't esteem it as disgusting. That's a good theory, isn't it? With all those beautiful Hawaiian women, that they were some way involved. So we get down to the crux of the matter, don't we? With all those beautiful Hawaiian women, you telling me none of them was involved with these bestiality sex acts that used to go on in Hawaii by law legally? They was having sex with animals legally in Hawaii. You telling me women wasn't involved in it? All those beautiful Hawaiian women. Come on, man. Come on, man. I wasn't born yesterday. I was born on a day, but not yesterday. You are in no condition to judge pedophilia or bestiality. You got that, suckers? You got that, ignorant folks? Ignorant black folk. You got that? You're in no condition. You're ignorant. You might as well be a slave on the plantation. Well, you didn't know what your country was doing. What was your country doing? You didn't know, did you? What was your country doing, boy? They was marrying children, boy. What was your country doing, boy, with animals? They were having sex with animals, boy, in Hawaii, boy. What they're still doing with animals, boy. In West Virginia, boy, they can have sex with animals, boy. That's why, listen, buddy. Listen. The one-eyed man in the land of the blind wins. The man with one eye in the land of the blind wins, buddy. See, you didn't know the details, did you? Furthermore, you didn't know the details of your country, did you? Well, if you knew the details of America, you would have had a seat a long time ago, because you would have said, hold up, well, we marrying children, right? Okay, that's the details, right? Okay, we don't really know the details of what he did. Not really. We don't really know, do we? But we do know our details. You know what our details are? We're marrying children as Americans. That's our details. You know what our details are? We have sex with animals. So how are we going to demonize this person? And that's what we've been doing this whole time. That's the 7th hour. You've been doing it the whole time. You've been having sex with animals the whole time. In fact, you still got a state that's having sex with animals right now. You don't? That's the details. And see, that's the difference between me and you, boy. And that's how you do it. You bury your enemies with information. You make them look incompetent, like boys. That's how you bury them. Ain't nothing you can say to me. Where's the details? That's a thug gonna say the same thing. Where's the details? Gangsters gonna say that. What's the details? Many times they done been to court. What's the details? We want to know the details so we can really see you for what it is and see you go. We don't know. You giving us subject matter. No, we gonna see the real details, not what you trying to put in there. No. We want the actual factual details according to this situation, not the subject matter. No, we want the specific details in this specific situation. You got the details in this specific situation? You lose, buddy. I'm sorry to tell you, you lose, sucker. You came out here with subject matter like a retarded boy. You came with, listen, tell my brother he came out here with subject matter like a retarded boy. Well, what's the details? Can you show us the timeline and all the details? Tell us everything that happened. Tell us all that happened, including your age, your brother age, where your parents were they gone a long time? Where were they at? You said all this stuff happened. Did he ever touch you? Y'all slept in the same bed, right? Did he ever do anything to you in the bed? Oh, so you and your brother slept in the same bed. No, this really happened. This is details. Did your brother ever touch you sexually in the bed? He didn't, did he? No. He never touched you in the bed, did he? If y'all play little games, can you say anything that happened if it didn't happen? Or you knew what was going to happen? Did you know what was going to happen? To the full extent, if it didn't happen? Oh, so you put in details that didn't happen. So how far you knew how you knew what it was going to do and how it was going to go? So you can't assume anything, can you? No, you can't assume anything. The bottom line is, with children, I'm sorry, buddy, you're dealing with undeveloped brains, and ain't nobody gonna take the sex acts or the mindset of a child 100% serious. Were you touched? Were you touched by your brother? Oh, he never touched you. Didn't you even take baths with your brother? Did anything happen in the bathtub? So even when you were uncovered with your brother, taking baths together, nothing happened. Wouldn't that be the most place where something would happen? But nothing happened. He didn't look at you strange. You don't remember nothing going on, do you? You didn't see him over looking at you, did you? Okay. So you took baths together. You slept in the same bed together, and nothing happened. Virtually nothing. You lose. Because even as a child, we can see in those two scenarios of you taking baths with your brother. Listen, if I think you're flattering yourself. If he wanted to do it, wouldn't you think that would have been a time or something weird would have been there? Oh, and then you and your brother smoke a lot of marijuana together. Nothing ever happened. Through all the years of you smoking marijuana with your brother. No funny vibe. You can't say it was a funny vibe between you and him. Many times y'all smoke weed together. Did you pick up a vibe from him? Nothing. No funny touching. No funny closeness. You couldn't even say it was no funny closeness, was it? Nothing abnormal. Nothing abnormal, right? Those are the details. You see how it's different? You see how when you get to the subject of the matter with details, you figure out what really is going on in the real mentality? You see how you do it? You see how I do that there? How I do that there? When you and your brother slept in the same bed, nothing happened. Not one time. Not even one time. Come on, buddy. Sorry, buddy. You can't sell us on that. You took baths with him? You took baths with your brother? Did you remember anything happening, getting in and out of the bath with your brother? Not one time. Come on, buddy. You lose. You lose. You lose. Because we're going to look at that. We're going to look at that to determine his mentality. Okay? You got it good. And that's how it's done. See, when you are really innocent, you know what you're going to do? I'm going to have all, as far as the narrative, what you're trying to produce, I'm going to show you a whole bunch of details that contradict your narrative. That's all I got to do. All I got to do is show you a whole bunch of details where I'm innocent. Right? Where I'm not doing what you claim I am made of, right? I'm going to show you all these details, and it's going to blow your narrative out the water. No pun intended. From you taking baths with your brother, from you sleeping in the same bed with your brother, nothing ever happened. That's all we need. And it's done. Just like that. And I don't have to tell you nothing else. You know why? Because we see the mentality in those details. Right there. We see the mentality. Now, if something didn't happen, you're saying it happened. But it didn't. That's why we need details. Because who are you to form details and say what could have happened? If it didn't, well, how you knew it was going to go that way? That's why you need details. See that? So here in America, where all these dumb people are, all you did was played with a smart man that's not going to play any game with dumb, ignorant black folks from North Carolina, starting from North Carolina. All them bonnet-wearing, retarded, dumb, big-head, retarded-looking Charlotte people. No details. Got a whole barbecue rack on your head. You got a barbecue rack on your head, don't you? You got burgers up here and steaks down there. You got a whole barbecue rack on your head, bruh. Hey, them Charlotte dudes they got a whole barbecue rack on their head, don't they? They got the steak up here. And look how short them Charlotte dudes are. They look like little foxes, don't they? That's why the name Bobcat was fitting, wasn't it? They all look like little bobcats, don't they? Most little Charlotte dudes on the average, what they about? 5'9", 5'10". You notice how many short dudes in Charlotte? Am I the only one to notice that? Talking loud, all the short dudes, yeah, talking loud in Charlotte. When the last time you seen tall dudes in Charlotte? Oh, I know, I'm from there. I know what I'm talking about. Sitting up acting like you the GOAT because I'm the GOAT. Or what? Because I get it, because I'm from Charlotte. You supposed to be able to find people like me in Charlotte. Good luck with that, buddy. Good luck with that. Good luck with finding people like me in Charlotte. It didn't work, did it? It didn't work. Oh, they got talent, different little stuff, you know. They ain't gonna be like me though. No, they ain't gonna be like me. Okay? You gotta have details, Charlotte. Little Charlotte. You know what Charlotte means? A little skinny woman, a little petite woman. That's what Charlotte means. A little feminine, a little woman. Little woman. You gotta have a lot of details, little woman. And if you don't, little woman, pertaining to Charlotte, it ain't going no further with the real people and the real men. Real men want to see details. Just like any other situation. See, you thought you could just come out here without details, didn't you? Oh, based on the subject matter, you could just come out here. That's 7 out. I don't care what it's about. I don't care if it's about children, a million children. I want a million details. Okay? On each child. Where's the details? Oh, the subject matter. You just see what I'm saying? They just slap subject. No, we want details, specific details on each child. What happened? What actually happened with each child? Not subject matter, Jedi mind trick, and just put me in the details. No, we want you to produce evidence of those details. And guess what? And here's the bad part. Here's the worst part. Testimony is not good enough in 2025. Meaning you can't go to court with just testimony against a person. You have to have testimony and evidence. And if you don't, guess what, buddy? You're going to have the hardest time of your life if it's my word against yours. And you see, that's why I'm glad I brought this up. When it's my word against yours, who's the justice going to believe? The details. You're going to come in there and saying what you saying. It's my word. I could be lying. I could lie. So how are we going to get to the bottom of it? If you're lying, I'm lying, somebody's lying, how are we going to figure it all out? Details. Details that you never had. So guess what you did? You just came out here with testimony. Like we in the 90s. We in the 90s? You in the 90s eating a sundae with some nuts on it? You eating a sundae with walnuts on it, ain't you? In the 90s, ain't you? Hey man, look. You can't come out here in 2025 without evidence, receipts, they're called in the present time. You don't got no receipts. I'm sorry, little buddy. All you had the whole time was testimony with no receipts. You know why? You know what put the battery in your back? The subject matter of those testimonies. Oh, it was about kids. Oh, it was about this. Oh, it was... And you're running with a battery in your back. Sorry, buddy. You're not a good judge of character because you know what? I don't care what it's about. This is me as a man of God. Because I know how people manipulate. That's why. That's why I don't care. Because I know people use anything to assassinate your character. People use the judicial system to assassinate people's character. They use the legal system, the law system to assassinate these days. Okay? Where even you seen with Michael Jackson, once one of the kids said that it didn't happen, that they family put them up to it, it destroyed everything. All it took was one child to say it didn't really happen and my parents put me up to it. After that, testimony was no more good in America. I would say it started about there with the Michael Jackson cases. Once we seen one of them kids, that's all it took for me. And that's all it takes for most people. Because then who am I to say the rest of that stuff is true? When this kid is telling us that it didn't happen. Who am I to validate all the rest of that based on my own bias towards children? See, you know what you did? You came out here with your own bias towards children and all of that. Who cares about your bias towards children? You still got to be professional and bring details. If you come into a courtroom with me, I could be a justice. I don't care about what you're talking about with kids. I'm not going to be biased towards that. A justice can't be biased. Think about it. You hear something about kids. A judge can't be biased. Where, oh yeah, we just gonna throw the book at this guy. We heard this stuff. No. I gotta sit back cool and collected no matter what I hear. And I have to sift through the details and make a discretional judgment. You were ignorant black people, ghetto, bushwhack, unsophisticated, unrefined, not even understanding these dynamics that I'm talking about. I guarantee you half of these North Carolinians didn't even understand they didn't even think about none of this. You're not my equal. Okay? You're not my equal. Because my equal would have said, where's the details? Where's the details? Not where's the crime. No. You could say that too. Where's the warrant? You could say that. But my caliber is, where's the details? No, I want to look through these details. And when I look through these details, I'm going to make my own educated assumption about an observation. I'm going to make my own educated observation about the situation with not a bias towards children. See, you came out here biased towards children and got buried, right? We want details for why these police came out here. Police, you got the details? You got meat with no salt and pepper. Mashed potatoes with no salt and pepper. Pretty bland. Just subject matter, huh? Rice with no salt and pepper. That stinks, buddy. Mashed potatoes with no butter, salt and pepper. Huh? Mashed potatoes, bland mashed potatoes. You ain't even got no milk in it. You just put water in it. You got mashed potatoes with no milk, no water, no milk, only water. No salt and pepper, no butter. Listen, buddy, the mashed potatoes are bland, baseless, they would say these days. Your accusations are baseless without details. It ain't got no base. Base. See, I got base. You know what my base is? 34 states of child marriage. That's base. Marrying children in 34 states. Wasn't you marrying children in 34 states? You're marrying children in 34 states? You're still doing it, right? Base. You have sex with animals in West Virginia right now as Americans. Base. That's base, buddy. Your accusations without details are baseless. Baseless. No base. No boom. Base. Tremaine ain't got no base, do it? Them baseless accusations. Sound good on my situation, ain't it? It is. It's baseless accusations. Okay, well, where the details? My accusations of you is baseless. You marrying children, that's baseless. That's baseless accusation. You marrying children in America in 34 states, and you've been marrying children since 1929. You've been marrying children in America since 1929, almost 100 years. 100 years, you're celebrating on the anniversary of almost 100 years of child marriage in America. That's baseless. That changes the whole reality of America. How is it baseless? You still have sex with animals, don't you? In West Virginia, you got sex with animals in West Virginia. The dog lovers, the state of the lover. The state of the lovers, right? The lovers. That's the state of the lovers, ain't it? That's baseless. That you have sex with animals. I proved everything you talk about. And I know Hispanic and Latinos ain't tripping. Oh, y'all got the donkey bars down in Mexico. They have sex with donkeys. In a donkey bar where Mexican men watch Mexican women have sex with donkeys on stage. Oh, go Google the donkey stars. The donkey bars. She's a donkey star. She's a donkey star, ain't she? Hey, Senorita is a donkey star. Senorita is a donkey star, ain't she? She a donkey star. Ooh, that's disgusting. Can you imagine the details of that? The semen of a donkey inside a woman. The smell of the semen of a donkey inside a woman. And she doing that proudly in front of other men. I'm just showing you the world you live in. And then if you go look around the world, there's bestiality everywhere. Just do a Google search and you'll see bestiality in all these different countries. So if I was into that, I would just look to Mexico with the donkey bars. I would look to West Virginia, where you still got bestiality, no laws against bestiality. I would look to the fact that you have 4 states of it, which made up 116 counties of it. You used to have 116 counties with all the 4 states combined, all the counties combined, and made up 116 counties of bestiality. And my accusations are baseless. Buddy, you've been having sex with animals right here in America, bro. Stop playing. And that's how you smoke your enemies. You understand me, buddy? Everything you was talking about, I addressed it like a man. Everything, right? I didn't run from it. Oh, you having sex with animals, ain't you? Base. You having sex with children, marrying children. You know what? I never thought about marrying a child. While we're analyzing people's thoughts, you know what thought I never had? Marrying a child. I never thought about that. You know who thought about it? Base. You know who thought about it? America. You thought about marrying children, didn't you? You doing it. Right here in the state of New York alone, you had 485,000. You had 385,000. That's almost 500,000. Hold up, let's slow down right there. New York. Bro, I know you ain't talking. You had almost 500,000 cases of child marriage in the state of New York alone, little buddy. Okay, from 2011 to 2019, from 2011 to 2019, you produced 385,496 cases of child marriage. I got numbers. Can you talk about what you... Listen, come on, man. Stop playing with me. You a joke. You pathetic. How you pathetic? You got 385,496 cases of child marriage in the state of New York alone, buddy. I got numbers. That's called details. How the 5 boroughs gonna rise up on me, buddy? Listen, man, you ain't even know you was marrying children here. You a joke. You still got the age of consent at 17. That's a child. You still can have sex with 17-year-old girls here in New York, man. Stop playing with me. You pathetic. Base. 385,496 cases of child. That's almost 500,000. 500,000 would have been 500,000 if you don't know numbers. You got 385,000. So 115,000 more, you would have been at 500,000 cases of child marriage in New York State alone. Huh? You was 115,000. Bro. You was 115,000 cases. Only 115,000 cases short of 500,000 children. 500,000. That's basically 500,000. 385,496 cases. That's numbers. That's real, by the way. That's certified, by the way. That's not my assumptions, that's no hunches, by the way. That's not intuition and all that juju, all that weak, pathetic African juju that they doing in the building. It was none of that. That's 385,496 cases of reality, of details of reality. You can't beat that, buddy. You got something to say? You don't want to do this with me, buddy. I'm telling you, listen, I can do it anytime you want to do it. And I'm going to put you right back in the same situation. I'm going to put you right back in your place. And there you go. Anything else you want to say? Anything else you got to say? Having sex with the animals, we covered that. You're having sex with the children, we covered that. What else is there? 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 Hey, you be like me too. Cops playing around and then you bury these people. I put you 18 feet in the ground. Boom. I put you 18 feet, so you definitely couldn't get up. Hey, put them 18 feet. Put them cops 18 feet in the ground, bro. Put you 18 feet. Triple that, buddy. We're going to triple it. Put you 18. We're going to triple the feet we put you in the ground, buddy. That's 7 out. We're going to triple it, buddy. 18 feet. We put you 18 feet down there, buddy. Yes, sir. Why 6 feet? That's a little close. You know, you might get on my feet. You might do something to the soil, to the earth. Put you 18 feet under there. Coming out here with these baseless accusations. And why they baseless for sure, how we can even say that, is you have no detail. No details. Mind games, psychological games. And you started a whole, this is how you do, listen, this is how you defeat your enemies. You face them like a man. You face them like a man. Or a woman. Anything anybody got else to say. I'll address anything you want. What else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to talk about? See, you buried yourself in the process, buddy. Because, see, once we figured out that you was marrying children, oh, that's it. And you know what? Honestly, it would have never came to that if you would have been playing around my integrity. If you would have been playing around my integrity, I wouldn't even think about it. It wouldn't even never came up. God wanted me to know and wanted y'all to know. You think God gonna sit back and let you marry children but play with his prophet and having sex with animals, and he can clearly see, God can clearly see this. All God did was sit me down and got me to study everything that you've been doing, buddy, and educate myself. It's called education. That's what it's called, buddy. That's right. I supposed to know what you're doing by law if you accusing my integrity. That's right. And to your chagrin, we find that you're marrying children, aren't you? Right now, presently. You still doing it, right? Right. 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 You still doing it, ain't you? All right. All right. You still doing it, ain't you? All right. Still marrying children in my face, man. Listen, man, you ain't half the man I am, bro. Oh, a real man can marry children. A real man can marry children. So if you had to call it, we know you're a sucker, but you can't call it. Like I like to say, we know if you had to call it, but you're a sucker, you can't call it. But if you had to call it, can a grown man marry a child? Let's talk about you for a little bit. Let's talk about your details. Can a grown man marry a child, buddy? So you still can be esteemed as a grown man, competent man in our community. Competent, right? Keyword competent. You can be esteemed as a competent man marrying a child. Boy, you got it made here in America, don't you? So you consider that a real woman that will marry a child? Oh, women doing it too. Oh, women thought they was free from it, didn't they? They thought they were sitting back cooking wings for the guys while they play the game. Hey, the women thought they was cooking wings for the guys, didn't you? Well, I'm not really involved. I'm just cooking wings for the Americans. You just cooking wings for the Americans, ain't you? You just cooking wings. You know how women sit back, hey, you just cooking wings for the Americans, ain't you? Hey, well, I got some good news for you too, little buddy. That's double the disrespect, call a woman buddy. Little buddy, listen, little buddy. Listen, that's double the disrespect, you little buddy. Listen, little buddy. The most famous pedophile was a female in America. Oh, it wasn't? Oh, bombshell. The most famous pedophile in America. Oh, you thought it was me, didn't you? The most famous pedophile was Mary LaRoe. Mary LaRoe, the school teacher that was on the Oprah Winfrey show, that married the little Asian boy. Everybody remember that? The little Asian boy that was married to the white woman. She is the most famous pedophile in the whole history of America. She married her student and he was underage. She got that young man, didn't she? That young boy. She called him a young man. We ain't gonna do that, are we? What was he? A young boy. She got that young boy, didn't she? She got the meat of that young boy. She got his meat, didn't she? She got the meat of that young boy, didn't she? Hey, I'm keeping 100. It don't mean I got something to do with it, do it? She had something to do with it. You say something, they act like you sketchy. Well, I'm just saying, well, hey, that's what it is. She got that young meat, didn't she? Mary LaRoe was the most famous pedophile of all times. Based on what? She was on the Oprah Winfrey show. I'm just talking about the details. We're talking about the details. Does that make me a pedophile because I'm talking about the details? See, that's how sensitive some of you are. You can't even have a straight conversation about this stuff without what? Grinning and smiling and sheepishly. Listen, that's the problem. Real men can't have these conversations. That's how I went this far. Where your country marrying children. You made new child marriage laws July 1st, 2019. Okay? You made new child marriage laws. And that's the nail in the coffin. In the present day and time, you showed renewed lust for children in our present day and time with the present legal community and lawmaking community. Well, that was just 6 years ago. I'm pretty sure the people that made the laws to marry children, they're still here, right? Right. Donald Trump was in the White House. Did he say anything about child marriage? You don't want to see me, buddy. I got your whole community. Well, why Donald Trump can't talk about child marriage? That's for MAGA. That's for MAGA. MAGA, why can't Trump talk about child marriage laws? Oh, MAGA, how you feel about child marriage laws? That's 7 hour. MAGA, how do you feel about marrying children in America? How you feel about it? How you feel about it, buddy? Oh. I just want to see how MAGA responds to that. Huh? How you feel? Your most famous pedophile was Marie LaRue. She was French, obviously. Mary LaRue, a white woman, a school teacher who married her own children. Guess what? And she got kids by the boy. She was on the Oprah Winfrey, where if it was a black man, you think Oprah Winfrey would be calling him to see what he doing with one of his little students? I'm showing you how in America people will even celebrate the pedophilia sexuality of a woman. Well, I mean, how else you want me to look at it? This is a TV show, so I know the creators of the show thought about the ratings and what it would do for the ratings. Oh, they have to consider that from episode to episode. So somewhere, somebody thought it would be a grand idea to bring a woman pedophile, and everybody would find it interesting on the Oprah Winfrey show. You see where I'm going with this? That's 7 hour. Well, you had to find it interesting. So why would you find why would you take interest in a woman pedophile? What's interesting to you? She's a pervert. She was a pervert. Okay, so would you bring a big fat white man talking about a little Asian girl on his show? No, you wouldn't. So let's slow down right there. Do you think the creators of the Oprah Winfrey show would have brought a white fat man, a teacher, and had a little Asian girl and he trying to explain logically why he's infatuated or why he sexualized this little Asian girl? Do you think America would have found that entertaining? Do you think Oprah would have found it do you think she would have found it, what word I want to use with Oprah? Do you think she would have found it interesting? Do you think she would have found interest in doing an interview with a white man that was with a little Asian girl, one of his students? You see how it hits different, don't it? If it had been a white man, Oprah wouldn't have found no interest in doing that, I guarantee you. She would have been appalled and disgusted, and she would have talked about it, but she wouldn't have brought him on the show, now wouldn't she? No, she wouldn't have. A white woman. This is how glorious a white woman. A white woman goes on the Oprah Winfrey show, and Oprah sits there and picks the mind of a pedophile, and she doesn't go to jail. She doesn't go to jail. Well, she's right there. And they're picking her brain like it's something interesting. Well, they had to consider, would the show get canceled because of this? No, it won't get canceled. People will find it interesting, the pedophilia, the sexuality of a pedophile woman, but not a man. You couldn't bring a black man on there saying, yeah, this little Asian girl right here. Yeah, she touched my heart back then. She was in my third period class. She ain't even producing a period, but and you talking about she in your third period class, and she ain't even producing a period, ain't got no cycle. I'm talking about you a grown man. I ain't talking about children now. Children experimenting with each other. You a grown man. She ain't even producing a period. You talking about her in your third period. You know how many real teachers, that's a real story, where they talk about these little girls in their third period class? Oh, some of them don't get caught. And some of them don't. Some of them just go home and masturbate about the little kids in their rooms. Oh, that's the truth. You got them type. You got different levels of pedophilia. Some of the guys go home and masturbate. Come on, man. Come think, well, come on, there's different levels. So none of them go home and masturbate about the little girls in their room. Of course they do, buddy. Look at all these teachers and up to date. Look at all these teachers having sex with these children. And look, they supposed to be the ones you trust the most. That's what I'm talking about. They the ones you trust and go to the PTA meetings. Yeah, I like Dr. David. Dr. David is good. Teacher David is good, ain't he? He wind up hitting on your daughter. Huh? The ones you trust, that's what the ones you look in their face, the ones that's looking at the parents, that's the ones that's doing it. You can't be serious. Oh, I done got into the teachers. I done got into that too. I done did a whole video on all these teachers. I got a list of 50 teachers, female teachers. I found the female teachers. 50 female teachers having sex with students, buddy. Just in case you thought it was the men. And remind you, like I said, your most famous pedophile is a woman in America. In America. Yeah, can't see me, buddy. Can't be serious. All these women, they can hide it well. See, a woman can hide behind her beauty, smiling at the children. You ain't gonna think nothing of it. She ain't nothing but she a pedophile. These cops can look at a beautiful woman and she gazing at the children, and you ain't gonna think nothing. Now let a man be looking at the children. Oh, he seems like he's a pedophile. You kind of staring at the children a little bit. Hey, wait, well, let's wait for a minute. A beautiful woman do the same thing, and your radar don't go off at all. That's a 7 hour. No, it don't. That's how they get under your radar. All these women pedophiles. Because their logic is they want hard erections. They want hard erections. You got to use Viagra. She want a hard, hot penis. Well, that's the logic. That's the logic, buddy. I'm just letting you know. A woman gonna want a little boy because he gonna have an erection, a longer erection than you. Oh, you didn't know what it was. You didn't know what it was. That's what it is. I'm just letting you know. Now I can't for the men with the females, it's cause the obvious. This girl is uncharted ground. It's gonna wrap right around his penis. Okay? It's gonna grip his penis. That's why he want it. Now, I feel if you are talking about pedophilia, you can't have sex with no age of children. New York. You're having sex with 17-year-old girls, right? That's not a woman. You still in trouble. How the girls in New York gonna stand up and y'all having sex with 17-year-old girls? Wu-Tang ain't never said nothing about the age of consent in New York, have they? Wu-Tang say they for the kids, right? Okay, well then why none of the Wu-Tang members said nothing about child marriage laws? No, we talking about real masters, right? Outside the music. Because Wu-Tang's supposed to be outside the music, right? It's supposed to be more than the music. Okay, so if it's more than the music, then why Wu-Tang ain't say nothing about child marriage laws? Right here in the state of New York. Why Wu-Tang ain't say nothing about the age of consent at 17 years old? We talking about real masters and real senseis, right? Outside the music. Okay, why they said nothing outside the music? They ain't say nothing, did they? But you'll compare them to me. You'll think, come on, man, listen, these chicken heads will think Wu-Tang is greater than me. Yeah, you would. All these chicken heads, you're going to think Wu-Tang is greater than me. Okay, why they ain't talking about child marriage then? And they the only group talking about they for the kids. Consistently. They the only group talking about they for the kids. I don't hear no other rapper, because he contradict child-friendly material, and Wu-Tang even contradict child-friendly material, but they say they for the kids. They say they for the kids, though. Okay, well then how come they ain't say nothing about child marriage laws in America? Why? So how far do we take it? That they say they for the kids. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. Nobody ain't go take it a step further. Nobody didn't advance that message that came from ODB, right? Nobody advanced the message. Okay, nobody did, right? Okay. By the way, I bought an ODB album. I bought it back in the day. So it's not. I know he the one started it. I know the history. Okay, so he started this. He started this. He said it on stage. Wu-Tang is for the kids. Now everybody and their mama started saying that, including New York and including America. Okay, now Wu-Tang should have advanced that if they allowed that to be said. Knowing you put out a message that is not kid friendly, let's just establish that it's not. Okay, so then you should have shut that down. Basically, you should have left that with subject to just ODB and made it a classic moment. But they didn't do that. This became like a known cultural little subculture among the Wu-Tang fans that they for the kids. Okay, if you're for the kids, then why they ain't say nothing about child marriage? They're right here in the state of New York. It was child marriage in New York. Why everybody think it's a down south thing? It was child marriage in New York. It was in the age of consent. The age of consent is at 17. Okay? Why Wu-Tang didn't say nothing about it? Come on, bro. That's all I'm saying. See, that's the difference. Why you playing me for a corny dude? That's the difference between me and everybody else. You see how I cleared the whole air? You see how you can't even, but you see the energy before I got up. You see the energy before I got really started. Now how you feel now? When they ain't got no details on me. When they came out here with a whole community, a whole American community, using police and everything, but they ain't got no details. What are details? That's why it's a war. You know what happens directly after that? A war with America. That's what happens. You didn't produce any details on me. We found out you was marrying children. We found out you've been marrying children the whole time while you act like the A-Team and Mr. T and MacGyver and you act like everybody else, John Wayne and all of that. You know, you act like all these different people, blood gung-ho about these children, but then we find you marrying children. And look, Malcolm X could have talked about it. Oh, well, wasn't Malcolm X outing one of the Nation of Islam's leaders for impregnating teenage girls? Malcolm X tried to out one of the Nation of Islam's leaders for impregnating teenage girls, right? Now, at that time, child marriage laws was in the country to marry teenage girls. Why didn't Malcolm X, during that time, when he was outing one of the Nation of Islam's leaders for impregnating teenage girls, why didn't he go in reference to the laws to talk about intelligently what the laws were and what access we had to children? Why didn't he go to the law system and look up the laws of marrying children so he could have talked about it intelligently, what we're able to do here by law in America? And you would have thought this is second nature to someone like Malcolm X. He gonna reference to the law. He gonna reference to the government. He gonna reference to what's going on in the community. But yet, he dropped the ball. Malcolm X right there dropped the ball. Because he should have went and seen what the laws were, and he would have seen that the country was marrying children during that time when he tried to out one of the Nation of Islam's leaders for impregnating a teenage girl. See what I'm saying, right? So he could have talked about it, but he didn't. I'm trying to show you the prophet is authentic. I've done what Malcolm X didn't do. And the thing is, he was supposed to do it. Oh, he was supposed to do it. Well, he was passionate about these children, talking about impregnating teenage girls in the Nation of Islam, right? Right. Okay, so then why he didn't go to the laws and see what the laws were? Those type of things, I call it life. When you see what could have happened. Why didn't he do it? You can't tell me why, can you? You can't tell me why. When somebody like Malcolm X was a student of information, where it would have been almost second nature for him to just say, well, let me see what the laws are. Let me go see what the laws are. Let me go see what America's doing. Let me go see what the age of consent is. Let me go see what the laws are on sexuality with children. Why didn't he do it? Why didn't he do it? Can you explain it to me? But he did go and try to out the Nation of Islam's leader. And my point of view is, you don't take black people problems to white people. What are he gonna do about it? He ain't gonna be able to understand it. He ain't gonna be able to understand our reasoning and our culture. And that's what Malcolm X did too. He went on a white TV show with a white man and talked about what the Nation of Islam was doing. But then he's the same person that feels that we shouldn't take our problems to black people. To white people. He said something in there where we shouldn't go to white people for our problems. But he contradicted himself when he got mad. When he got mad at the Nation of Islam. Let's keep it 100. That's what it kind of was. He got mad at the Nation of Islam. And that's what influenced him to go on national TV to a white man talking about black people problems. And they wasn't totally on his side. It looked messy. In fact, it probably took credibility in the minds of many Americans from him doing that. Because by the time it got to racist America, you know what they were saying? Oh, I heard Malcolm X was having sex with teenage girls. You don't think somebody flipped that around? Oh yeah, Malcolm X was on that. You know that old Malcolm X was on TV talking about some teenage girls having sex with some teen. What? By the time it got to the racist rednecks, they sitting around drinking beer. Oh yeah, well you know I heard Malcolm X was having sex with some teenage girls. Oh really? Yeah, I heard he said something about some teenage girls. What, him and some teenage girls? Well, I don't know. I think maybe so. But he definitely was talking about some teenage girls. Well, he was on the show. Was they talking to him? Was they talking to him about what he was doing? Well, maybe they were talking to him about what he was doing. All I know is he was talking about some teenage girls, sexualizing sex with some teenage girls. Well, maybe they was questioning him about having sex with. Well, maybe, I don't know, man. It was questionable. I know they was talking about teenage girls, though. I know that sex with teenage girls. That's what's gonna happen with these white folks, which means some of them walked away thinking he was doing something with them. Malcolm X could have said something about it. Another one that could have said something. MLK, Martin Luther King Jr. could have said something about it. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't say nothing about no child marriage in America. That's the 7th hour. Oh, when MLK say something about it? Jesse Jackson, when he say something about it? Al Sharpton, when did he say something about child marriage in America? The Black Panther Party, when did the Black Panthers say something about child marriage laws in America? Black Panthers didn't say nothing, right? Black Lives Matter. Why didn't they say something about child marriage laws that were passed July 1st, 2019? New child marriage laws while they were active. They were active in 2019, right? Why they didn't say nothing about child marriage laws? It pertains to all children, including black children. Why they didn't say nothing about it? Black Lives Matter didn't say nothing. Malcolm X didn't say nothing. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't say nothing. MLK didn't say nothing. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, nobody said nothing. Jay-Z didn't say nothing about child marriage, right? Jay-Z said something about it. Beyonce say something about child marriage laws in America? Okay, so all the people you respect, all these leaders you respect have said nothing. You add whoever else you want to add to it. Your favorite rappers, your favorite entertainers, your favorite actors, actresses. Angela Bassett, she on 911, she ain't say nothing about child marriage, did she? Angela Bassett didn't say nothing about child marriage laws, did she? No, she did not. Denzel Washington said something about it. He ain't say nothing about child marriage laws, did he? Snoop had a whole league of children, football league. Did Snoop say something about child marriage laws? He didn't, did he? Oh, drum roll. Tupac was talking about everything. He was talking about Donald Trump, all kind of stuff. Trump, everything, Trump. Did he say something about, did Tupac Shakur say something about child marriage laws? No, he didn't. None of them did. Ice Cube ain't say nothing. Ice Cube ain't say nothing about no child marriage laws. That's what I'm trying to show you. The difference between the prophet and everybody else. Show me somebody that talked about it. That's all I'm challenging you to do. That's all I'm challenging. That's a real good challenge. Not these baseless challenges that you got in your community. Find me somebody that's talking about child marriage laws in America. You can't do it, can you? That's what I'm talking about. So you got to have a seat, buddy. In the real world, among real men, now aliens going to be aliens. They're going to still play psychological games. Those are aliens. We esteem them as aliens. If you're running around playing mind games after this, you are 2/3 of a human being. You're an alien, buddy. We talking about real men ain't going to say nothing, buddy. You can't. Because I'm right. Malcolm X, none of them people said nothing. They said nothing about no child marriage the whole time. And what was so funny about it, they were educated people. That's what I'm tripping off of. But they said nothing. But then he had passion about the same subject, and how we know is because he outed one of the Nation of Islam's leaders for impregnating a teenage girl. So you can't say, oh, well, he was too busy with civil rights movement issues. He took the time to slow down and talk about the Nation of Islam's leader impregnating teenage girls. He took the time to talk about it, right? So then why he didn't educate himself on what the country was doing? Why he didn't educate himself on what the government was doing? Can you explain intelligently why he didn't do it? You can't, can you? That's all I'm saying, buddy. That's all I'm saying. And you can go to anybody else. Bishop T.D. Jakes didn't say nothing about no child marriage. You name them. That's all. It's funny, ain't it? All right. It's funny. Nobody said nothing but me. I'm the only one. Now you think I'm gonna let these people trigger me and play psychological? I don't care nothing about that. Because you know what? I can show you your whole country, including Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr. None of them said nothing about child marriage laws, and it was right there. They read books on everything else. See, you might think, oh, that time, how could he know? A library. They were reading books on Gandhi. They was reading books on Martin Luther King Jr. was. They was reading books on everything else. So why couldn't they talk about it? And that's how I won. So you can try to trigger me all day. They just knocked on the door to trigger me. That's all it was. But I know my thoughts. I know where my head is at. Do you know where your head is at? Huh? Listen, you among someone that's greater than your whole community and your family. Okay? Well, your family probably didn't know about child marriage, did they? Your family knew about marrying children in America. So I'm greater than your family. Why you trying to knock on the door and trigger me? It's not working. I know what it is for me. I'm guarded according to the war, according to certain key and terms, and I'm guarded according to the psychological war that was set up according to those terms. Okay, boom, there we go. While you sitting right there waiting to trigger me, you lost. Boom, ow, all, all. Can't see me, buddy. Okay, show me somebody in your community that talked about child marriage, huh? Show me one black leader. All these new leaders. Show me your new. Barack Obama didn't say nothing about child marriage, did he? Barack Obama said something about it. Did Barack Obama say something about child marriage laws? And he came to the White House with 2 girls. Did he say something about it? Did he do anything about it? Nope. Kamala Harris, did she say something about child marriage laws in America? She used to be a prosecutor prosecuting sexual assault cases on children. She used to be a prosecutor. She knows what it is to be in the courtroom. She knows y'all don't have details, right? Right, like she will understand that language. You don't have any details, right? But she never voiced any details on child marriage, did she? She didn't, did she? So Kamala Harris came and went from the White House and was a former prosecutor against child sexual assault cases. She came and went from the White House and didn't use her expertise to say nothing or to advocate against child marriage laws in America. I can't make it. Listen, can you believe that? She used to be, Kamala Harris, that was the vice president, she used to be a prosecutor against child sexual assault cases, right, in the courtrooms. She comes to the White House. I know she understands laws, right, obviously, as a prosecutor. She said nothing about child marriage laws in America. Wow. She was the president, a vice president. No, she ain't say nothing about it. She ain't say nothing about it. You don't think she knew about it? Of course she knew about it. You don't think Trump knew about it? So explain to me why nobody ain't saying nothing about it. If y'all talking about children, then I'm giving you what you want. We can talk about it. Let's do it. Okay, now when we do it, you listen, where you at? I can show you your whole, I can show you your whole community having sex with children. They having sex with them. What you think they doing with them when they marry them? James Brown didn't even say nothing about child marriage. James Brown didn't say nothing. James Brown said something about, he made a song, It's a Man's World. It wouldn't be nothing without a woman and a little baby girl. Okay, so he showed some kind of passion for children. But did he say, did James Brown say something about child marriage? No, he did not, buddy. That's what makes me the prophet. That's what makes me the prophet. James Brown didn't say nothing about child marriage. Did Prince say something? Prince say something about child marriage? Huh? Michael Jackson say something about child marriage laws? He didn't, did he? It's spooky. It's spooky when you look at the whole community didn't say nothing. But you supposed to be my judge. You out your mind, buddy. You out your cotton picking mind. Ain't no way in the world, buddy. Ain't no way in the world you can see me, buddy. You in a dream world. You do what ignorant people do. You sitting back yapping and talking. I'm producing intellectual property that you can't beat, buddy. With details. Where your details at? You got any details? You don't, do you? You don't got any details. That's what we talking about. You don't have any details. That's what we're talking about. So, I'm the only one to talk about it. You know? And so that's why I demand my respect on the subject. I demand my respect on the subject. You know what I'm saying? Like, where it shouldn't be nobody questioning your integrity if they marrying children. If they marrying children, who can question who can stand up and question somebody's integrity in a land, a nation where they marrying children? That's all I'm asking. How? Who? But see, that's how we know. People didn't know, because there's no way a man or a woman can look and judge me and the country marries children. How? I would say you can't even lock up a pedophile. How? How? that's all I'm saying, man. That's why. That's why, man. I have to demand to get taken seriously on this subject. Because when I see nobody said nothing, that's what I'm stuck on. Like, nobody. You name them. No famous people. No, none of the people y'all respect. None of your leaders. None of these people. Like I said, Barack Obama didn't say nothing about it. Can you explain that? He comes to the White House with 2 children, right? And Michelle Obama, they both was lawyers, right? Attorneys. How they don't say nothing on child marriage? Like, it ain't like you gotta do a whole, you gotta research it from A to B, A to Z. You know, you can't just know it's here. You can't, and then Barack Obama couldn't advocate against it. So for me, man, when I hear people then turn around, and you will hear it, each and every one of them, you will hear at some point they all talk about sexuality with children, right? How it's wrong. They'll all talk about that. So then how they don't go to the next step and educate themselves on the laws in the country? That's all I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. And see, right there, you don't think I deserve a bag? Yes, I deserve a bag. I deserve a bag, bruh, because I'm looking at, they played with my integrity. They gave all these people these subject matters without details. Had everybody thinking I was out here a danger to the children. That's what you might as well say. You might as well say they thought they were acting like I was a danger to the children. So then I don't deserve compensation, financial compensation. That means besides the systems of America, like with the food stamps, with the, like I'm getting housing, that don't count. No, none of that counts. I'm talking about a bag, money, not, oh, well, we're doing this and we're doing, no. Because that's not going to really add up. Come on now. That needs to be set aside and distinguished as a form of justice. Because like I said, there's nobody talking about it, man. I mean, you could talk whoever you want to mention. Anybody you want to mention. Anybody. You just take your pick on who you want to mention. I already showed you Jay-Z, Beyonce, Tupac. None of them said nothing. You go through the list. And then Tupac was talking about on one of his albums, death to child molesters, right? But then on Hit 'Em Up, he talking about my fofo will make sure none of y'all kids don't grow. My fofo will make sure none of y'all kids don't grow. So he went from advocating against children, advocating against child molesters, to talking about killing children. See, this has been the problem in the community, where the child killer is not esteemed as bad as the child molester. Which is worse? What is worse? A child killer or a child molester? Which one is worse? I don't care if it's indirectly or directly. Which one is worse? Which one is worse? The child molester or the child killer who kills the child? And see, people don't have the same energy with the child killer that they have with the child molester. It's a bias. But in reality, the child killer is the worst, that physically killed the child. If you are an assassin and you can't hit your mark without killing children, listen, you got to be held accountable. If you are really an assassin, you should be able to hit your mark. That's it. Shooting all reckless and everything, and then there's rappers that even talk about it. Shooting all reckless and it's celebrated. And then you think I'm gonna stomach somebody talking about a child molester when I see kids getting shot down in the neighborhoods? Nope. That's the worst thing you could do when it comes to these children. What's worse? Sex with a child or killing a child? Which one's worse? Which one's worse? It's common sense. But yet in our culture, in this American culture, it's not esteemed that way. What's esteemed as the worst number one thing? A child molester, right? Not the child killer, the people killing the children. Which one is esteemed worse in the minds of the people? That's going to be a child molester. Because the shooter, the killer, the gangbanger, is more closer to the culture and what appeals to the people. So people ain't going to say nothing because they infatuated with the shooter. They infatuated with the killer. So even when he make mistakes and wind up killing these children, they're going to charge that to the game. That's what they're going to do. They're going to charge it to the game. And no one acts like it's the worst thing, and it is. It's the worst thing in the situation. That's all I'm saying. So I deserve the bag. See, the reason why people don't want to get the bag because I'm already fighting my own war. You know what I'm saying? And they hate and despise my position. But if you see the whole situation, where they judged my character, where they played with my character, okay, then so how you gonna despise my position? When we find out they marrying children and they having sex with children, but you accused me, you demonized me as a community. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I don't feel that. No. That deserves a bag. But see, people thought I had to get along with the same people that accused me, which it wasn't no secret. It was African Americans, black people. They was the one that started the accusations. And that's what white people say. We ain't started. That's what white people insinuate. We didn't start the fire. I pick up on things very well. Or God tells me. Okay? So, with that being said, black people started the problem. Okay? Black people started that. Okay, so how are they going to be held accountable? There's no accountability because people bias. White people piggybacked off of what black people was doing. Okay, how are they going to be held accountable? People bias. So God had to step in and do something about it. That's why all this happened, because it wasn't no justice. And like people say, no justice, no peace. So how you going to feel like it's justice for me to just get assistance that everybody else get? So what's the difference? You can say they got rewarded too, right? Okay, so what's the difference? I get housing. Okay, how many other people get housing? And some of these people don't even deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Doing all kind of crazy, reckless stuff against me, like I don't know any better. Okay, now, with that being said, do they deserve housing? But they still get it, don't they? So, you reward the same a bum as far as they character with housing, but that's supposed to be a reward for me for what you done in the streets. Come on, bro. But you reward another guy out here with the same thing. Come on. That's being a cheapskate. These people owe me a bag and they know it, bro. And listen, it's not gonna be right. It's not gonna be right with God. And I don't care what Trump does over in Nigeria. I don't care what he do. He can help the Christians over there, but he's not helping the Christians over here. He's not helping the Christians over here. So I don't even trust that. No, I don't. That might be to Jedi mind trick the people to make y'all think he on Christian people's side. Get the Christian community on Trump's side. Right? Right. That's what it is. To get the Christian people to say, "Oh, Trump is for the Christian community." Nope. You know what that is? They want to get the terrorist. So you can look at it both ways. Okay, he want to get the Christian, he want to help the Christians, or do he want to kill these terrorists? I think he want to just kill the terrorists. I mean, put it all together. He's down in the Caribbean, calling these people terrorists. Look at that. Here's another instant where he's attacking what he esteems as a terrorist. So what's the common denominator that he's attacking? Besides the Christian element and dynamic, what's the common denominator? These people who he esteems as terrorists. And like I said, a terrorist is a terrorist. Listen, I don't agree with it, but a terrorist attack is a poor man's war. That's what it is. It's a poor man's war. It's a poor man's war. It's his only way to get back at the Americans. I mean, think about it. If you poor, how you gonna get back at these people? I don't agree with his method, the terrorist method, but I understand his perspective. Most of these terrorists, listen to their perspective. America always coming over in their country, playing world police. That's the main thing they talk about. They not talking about, oh, we just hate Americans for what they stand for. The main thing they talk about is America coming over into their country. Osama bin Laden was the same way. Osama bin Laden, if you go find, and many Americans didn't take the time to study and see what it was, right? The reason why Osama bin Laden did the terrorist attack, because America came into Saudi Arabia going into their land, and I don't want to say invading the land, but he came there basically. America came there playing around Saudi Arabia. Basically, that's what they did. That was his foundation. Osama bin Laden came from a wealthy family that's still wealthy today. They still building stuff today. A construction family. They build stuff all around the world. See, a lot of bushwhack Americans don't know about the bin Ladens. The bin Ladens is still wealthy today, but they distanced themselves from Osama bin Laden some time back. Before he did that, he became like the loser child, I guess you could say. I mean, he was disowned by his family publicly, but he came from a wealthy family, man. He wasn't just some wild dog like they try to act like he was. He wasn't like, no. This man was intelligent and everything. I think he went to school too. He went to school and everything, man. So what he felt, and I think the Americans helped him when he was sick at an American clinic or health clinic or something, right? So Osama bin Laden attacked America because of its dealings for America going into Saudi Arabia. That's why it happened. It wasn't, now how it's told to us is like he came over, he attacked because he don't like our way of life. The Muslims don't, these terrorists don't like what we stand for. That's what we've been told the whole time. And so that's why I took time to actually study the worldviews of these terrorists. And most of them, you got to remember, they're not white people. So how you think white Americans dealt with these Arab men, these Arab Muslim men? They didn't like them either. They were racist against them too. How it manifests was, in other countries, they go over there and take what they want like they're not even grown men. They take from them. They take from them. They go over there and treat them like they can't run their own country. And think about how that make them look to their women. You doing all this stuff for your family in these different countries. The Americans just come over there like, get out the way, boy. Let me do this, boy. Let me show you how to run this country. That's how they go into. That's how racism manifests in the Middle East. America goes over there and act like these men can't run their own country. My belief is this. Black reasoning is this. Black reasoning is this. I'm gonna let this man fall on his face. I ain't jumping into every situation over there. Wherever the cards may fall, sometimes different countries gotta fight. Different nations gotta fight, and you gotta stay out of it. See, America feel like they feel like they have this higher responsibility just because they the superpower of the world. So what? You don't have no responsibility in all these other countries. Let them people fight it out. Let the strongest win. That's how it is. That's how you got to do it. You don't go in there and then you create beef for the community, because you're gonna be well protected as the government, the police. You're gonna be in the military. You're gonna be well protected. Guess who's gonna suffer? 9/11 Trade Center victims and people dying from all the cancers and stuff after that. Who suffers? The population when the authorities go over into these different countries, because the authorities gonna be protected. They're gonna be well protected. Who's gonna be more in danger? The government when they go over there and do all this stuff? No, they ain't gonna be. Listen, they're gonna have all kind of protection. They're gonna have military around them and everything. They're gonna have all kind of arms and everything. Surveillance to protect them and everything. You ain't got no surveillance to protect you. You ain't got no surveillance to protect you. So you are the ones that suffer when these Americans go over to these other countries. That's the truth. Am I saying something wrong? Government was good. George Bush was good. Military was good. Who died? American population for what these people did in other countries. And whether you believe it or not, the truth is, Osama bin Laden had a problem. You can go Google it. What was the reason Osama bin Laden attacked America? Because of America going over there in Saudi Arabia. That's what it was. See, it had nothing to do with Islam, and it had nothing to do with, oh, we need to go smite the unbelievers. I know the scripture in the Quran that talks about smiting the unbelievers, basically decapitating unbelievers in war. I know all about that. But however, that's not the reason.
How I know? Osama bin Laden already was with. He knew all what the Americans stood for. He knew what they stood for. Okay, so why he didn't attack them before? Make it make sense now. His family was working with the Americans. I'm pretty sure they was with the construction, right? With the construction company. So explain how Osama bin Laden was very aware of the Americans, but he had no problem with them. He was a Muslim and everything. He had no problem with them, right? Now, over here, they're going to tell you, oh, well, you know, he didn't like what we stood for. The Muslims don't like what we stand for. They're going to show you all that propaganda, all these images of Muslims. They're going to take all these sound bites to produce this narrative like these Muslims come over here and they don't like what we stand for. That's what it's about. No, they start talking about that as a result of, more times than not, America coming over and playing world police. Like the old school say, they playing the world police. They come over, they go into these other countries and play the world police. Right? They play the world police, and then the Muslims start talking about everything. Well, they unbelievers. They give a whole list. But initially, the main problem, more times than not, I'm telling you, America going over there, barking up the wrong tree with these people in their own countries. The whole world is a ghetto, right? That's how it is. Okay, you know how it looks when you come, a man taking care of his community. Then you come over there and just take what you want in front of the women. Men got ego. Men have ego among other men and among women. That's what you got to consider. All these people got ego all around the world, including me. If you play with me and you used all these people against me, what I supposed to be like? Even as a Christian, what you expect me to be? You can't step on a man, a real man. No, you can't. A man rather die. A real man would rather die than be in alliance with someone that stepped on him. He'd rather just go ahead and I'll just die. Because rather than be with these people that stepped on me, they did it too much. The only way it can be made right is a bag. That's all. That's the only way. Then a man gonna think, well, you know, they made it right. The community gonna think, oh, they made it right. See, a real chess master gonna say, well, if we pay this money back, we're gonna be in good graces with the community. The community gonna say, well, we at least paid the money back. We at least tried to make it right. Think about it. See, if it was me, I would, yeah, because it's a win-win situation. I'm gonna be cool, and the community gonna be cool. But no money, and then you in liability. This country marrying children, having sex with animals. But then they trying to chastise me. Listen, that's not good. That's not good, buddy. It's not good at all. You can't chastise and see how people start looking at it is it's racism. See, it's spilled over into racism. See, old school black people, no, we don't take our problems to white people. In this case, black people did not care. They took their problems to the white people. These fraternities, all these secret society fraternities, they took their problems to them. And then it became basically, once other white men got a hold of it, it became like a race war. That's what it became. Low key. I know that. I know it became a race war before everybody else accepted it, because what else is left? My only thing left is my race. I prove to be innocent. I mind my business. I'm point A to point B. So what else is left for why people are here? because I'm black, and people have been conditioned to mistreat the black man like it's okay. Now, if I had been Chinese, you think they would have been playing with me still? No, because you were taught to treat every race a different way according to their assignment in America. Every race has an assignment, and you're going to be treated according to your major assignments. So Indian people from India, they wouldn't have done this because they know they're conditioned psychologically according to how they should be treated by Americans based on their significance here that is displayed through their assignment. Most of them gonna go to college and do some little stuff somewhere else, some little other stuff we don't even know about. They gonna do some other stuff. Think about it. You don't see no Indians working in fast food, and they going straight to college. And we ain't even gonna see them when they get out of college. They gonna go do something else, something way off somewhere, some biochemistry lab or something. That about fit. About some biochemistry lab somewhere. They gonna be over there somewhere, bruh. So they gonna be treated. America is gonna train American citizens to treat them like they going to biochemistry labs. Right? They gonna be treated according to that. You and I, we have no assignment, do we? Okay, so because you don't have an assignment, you're disposable. They've been treating us like we disposable. Because our assignment has been given over to, and this, I say this respectfully, it's not their fault. Hispanic and Latinos have been given the black assignment, the African American assignment. They took our assignment. It was given to them, and this is why. Because they are more professional in customer service than we are. They are. Because we as black people, and even me included to a certain degree, we gotta take our persona, our personality, our heart into a job. You don't supposed to. You're supposed to go in there, basically, the best worker is gonna go in there almost like a robot. Which means, whatever you say to me, I don't care. I'm getting paid. First of all, number one. Number two, I'm not going to lose my job over you. Okay? I'm going to go in here, and you can say whatever you want. I'm going to direct you in the right direction. I'm going to act just like a robot. And if you don't make it extra personal, beyond reason, I'm not going to get personal with you. That's professional. Hispanic and Latinos go into a job, they go into customer service. They can do all, if you look, all these jobs that are customer service, they're there. You know why? They go into a job, they don't care what people talk about. They don't care how people treat them. You pay attention, they don't care. You say something, well, look how they look at you. Look how they look around. They don't care. We get extra defensive. We take it extra personal when they don't. So imagine the white man gonna see them and say, "Oh well, I'm gonna get them because they're gonna be good at customer service. They gonna be professional where they don't get personal with nobody. They gonna just be like robots getting the job done." You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that respectfully. So I'm not the type of person that feels like they taking my jobs. They take jobs from me. Because my point of view is, if I want a job, I'll go get one. And if I don't get that one, I'll get another one. And I don't really care which job it is, because it's not a vocation. It's not something I went to school for, so I'm not hung up on really not too much on what it is, as long as I get employment. So with that being said, if they happen to get a job over me, I'm going to go just look for another job. And me, I'm old school with a job search. Every time I got a job in New York, you know what I did? All I did was go online and get a whole bunch of numbers and call everybody. Old school. I'm going to call everybody. Y'all got any openings? Y'all got any openings? All these buildings and places here in New York. That's what a Southern dude gonna say. How you can't get a job? All these buildings. You don't gotta get lost in where do I go. All you gotta do is get a whole bunch of numbers for whatever field you're trying to work. If you're trying to work janitor work at a gym, like I used to work at the gyms, right? So, you know, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of numbers from a gym. All these different numbers in all the different boroughs. And all these different boroughs, I ain't gonna get a job. I don't care which one it is, really. Because it's not a vocation. So I'm not hung up on a particular job if I don't get it. It's not a vocation. So it's a gig, basically. You know? So every time I got a job, that's what I did. I just go through a list and call. And somebody gonna hire you, especially here in New York. So with that being said, I don't feel like nobody taking nothing from me. I ain't never felt that way. Because I'm just raised the right way where I know how to do a job search and get a job. My first job, I was 15 years old. That's why I'm like this. That's why I'm naturally like this. And my first job was customer service. I had to work at a grocery store. You're dealing with people, customers, and everything. That's customer service. You're giving service to customers of a corporation or a brand or a business. So with that being said, man, I started out young, understanding customer service and everything like that, working at 15 years old, bro. That's why I can kind of fall back a little bit and I still got credibility. That's how I feel. My mom, I worked 2 jobs with my mom. I'm one of them type of dudes. I worked 2 jobs with my mom. I was 17 when I worked with my mom. She was working at this job, this food plant. You know what I'm saying? And me and her go to work together. So I work with my mom. I used to see my mom at my job and everything. So that's credibility. That's why in my family, I think that's why my mom still kind of vouches for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I done worked 2 jobs with my mom. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, man, I've worked at Walmart. That's American as it gets. Now that's up to date. Okay, you done worked at Walmart, Wally World, literally, yeah. I should do overnight stocking. Working at Walmart, okay. And the manager told me, you know, you can come back if you want to, man. Like, he said, you laughing, but I'm serious, because I'm a good worker. I just have to have respect. At Walmart, they lied to me 2 times. I quit. The first time, this dude called me in on my day off and then made it up like I was supposed to be scheduled for working. On my weekend, now this is the weekend. What make it so bad? My days off at Walmart was the weekend. So I was like, no, I ain't going in. I know my schedule. I know if you don't know nothing as a black man, you don't know if you work on the weekend. Come on, that's trying me, bro. That's trying me. I didn't know I was off on the weekend. I had to work for the weekend. Come on now. I can see if it was a Wednesday or Thursday. You don't know if you're off on the weekend? He was lying. And what made it so bad, he called my mom's phone. That's where I felt disrespected. He called my mom and told her that. Oh, he's scheduled to work. This is Walmart now. This is Walmart. They know you're disposable. That's why they don't care. Walmart don't care how they treat their customers. I mean, their workers. Because they know I could easily I got applications in there right now. Come on, think about it. People always applying for Walmart. All they got to do is call somebody as soon as they replace you. And that's how they treat you. Disposable. That's the only thing about working in places like that, because it's a revolving door. They know they can. All they got to do is go look at some other application somebody else just put in. So that's what happened. That was the first red flag. I knew where the schedule was at in the office, and you gonna keep checking it. You know what I'm saying? And it would have just stuck in my mind that I know if I was working on the weekend. But see, that make you question yourself. That's the bad thing about lies. Lies make you question yourself. Like, did I slip on that? Was I now you? But see, you see what I'm saying? But you know you didn't. But that's the power of a lie, man. You almost question. Well, what did I? Was I scheduled to work? Did I overlook it or whatever? But I knew what it was, man. I knew what it was. This dude also was gay, right? And at that time I had long permed hair and everything, sleek, everything, and wearing ponytails. This dude was gay. I could just tell, right? Okay, so I'm not knocking that. There was no hate because of that. You know what I'm saying? I worked with him, I coexist with him and worked with everything. There was no problem with that. But he wanted me up under him, and he wanted to probably try to talk to me, and he wanted to see if I'm the type of worker that will come in and work at the drop of a hat. You see what I'm saying? That was the main reason. That's how I know. That was it, because I know it, because I find the motive. The motive was he wanted me to come. I'm a good worker. Everybody said it, probably because the other dude wanted me to come back. It was a manager from Jersey, and I'm down in North Carolina, but this dude was from Jersey, man, and he took a liking to me. And he, like I said, once I quit Walmart, he told me I could come back. I could have came back because it's how I did it. I left. Once I was disrespected, man. The second time, this woman, this manager, I worked for her for one night and I quit because she lied in my face. In Walmart, I did overstocking overnight. Your responsibility is 2 aisles, right? You have a food aisle and you have some kind of various other aisle. Just something odd or whatever. It might be curtains, it might be some little area over there or something. And you stock it, right? Okay, so I'm like working my second aisle. I done made my food aisle. The food aisle is the first thing you get done, because it's most important. That other stuff we can just kind of throw around, whatever, make it work. Because it probably ain't gonna get, a lot of that stuff ain't gonna get sold anyway, really. Not that quickly, but food gotta be stocked. You know, so that's the first aisle you get. The second aisle is like I said, just random things. So, you know, I'm on my last aisle, like probably got like 2 more hours left on my shift. She gonna come over to me. This is the second manager. Mind you, already the other manager I got a red flag from him. This is the second manager. This is how the managers are at Walmart, man. They're probably worse now. So I'm like, she came to me, approached me, and was like, yeah, and she thought she was slick. Are you gonna do that aisle? I told you to do that aisle, right? Remind you, I'm a musician. Which means, and what this means, I used to recite lyrics as a skill, which means I have a great memory of people when they say stuff to me in words. I'm not going to miss that. That's why I recite information easily, you know, and I hear information very good easily, right? So I don't have that problem. She came to me like I was stupid and told me, well, yeah, I told you to do that aisle. Don't that sound kind of racist already? Well, I told you to do that aisle. Don't worry about it. See, when I used to lie when I was younger, I was a good liar. So I know a good liar. She tried to don't worry about it. I told you to do it, but don't worry about it. It's okay. But I'm like, no, you didn't tell me. You ain't tell me that. I would have remembered. I would have definitely remembered that. Plus, I don't really know this woman, and I don't mean no harm. She was a white woman, so I would have noticed when she approached me. That's what she don't realize. See, that's how I know she kind of stupid. You gonna know if you gonna know if you in this almost all black Walmart workforce. You gonna know every time especially this is the first night you work for this woman. The first night now, you ain't gonna know every time she approach you. And what she tell you. She was playing me for stupid. What happened was, I'm gonna tell you what happened. She didn't have nobody to put on that owl. And she thought I'd be stupid enough to throw me on it. She should have just respected me and asked me, yo, I know you got one more owl. A good manager gonna do that. Yo, I know you got this owl, right? But can you kind of if you can you get to this other owl over here when you get done with that one and do as much as you can? Keywords. Can you just do as much as you can up until your shift? I would have said, yeah, that's cool. Because I probably would have been done with that owl, and I would have had nothing to do anyway. I might have had 20 minutes to spare, 30 minutes to spare, and I probably, me being me, I probably would have went over there and did what I could as fast as I could. I would have got much as done as I could. I would have got much done as I could. Man, she lied to me and talking about she told me, man, that she put me on that owl. Really, the truth is, she didn't have nobody. And she, cause that's the kind of man that she is. She realized she didn't have nobody on the owl, and she went and tried to find somebody that she felt was nice that would do it. And she ain't try nobody else like that. She ain't even want to approach nobody else. But she came to me and told me a lie. That's what happened. And I wouldn't have had no problem with it, like in the context of, I mean, you want me to do half of this and half of that? I would have did that. I would have did half of this, half of that. Pretty decent, you know. But when she lied to me, I quit that same night. Nope. I was sure she lied to me. She definitely didn't tell me that, man. She definitely didn't. That was strike 2, which made strike 3. Strike 2 made strike 3. That's why I quit. But you can see, I worked the most American job it is, Walmart. Wally World, man. I worked at Kmart before. I worked at Kmart, 7-Eleven warehouse, the 7-Eleven warehouse, Kellogg's warehouse, fast food, Checkers. I used to be the grill guy at Checkers. Yeah. When I got my first apartment, that's why I was working at Checkers. Me and my ex-wife. We both worked at that same store. We both worked at that same actual store. She worked at it first, and I worked at it. Once we got an apartment over in that area, right by that store, by the Checkers fast food restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my strong suit is I done a lot of different jobs. That's my strong suit. A lot of different. I auction cars, riding the cars around, driving them and getting them auctioned off. I done that. You know, but janitorial for gyms, I like that a lot because it's the atmosphere. So I worked at New York Sports Club. It used to be right down here on 16th, East 16th, right down here. Right here in Brooklyn, in the Russian neighborhood. I used to work at New York Sports Club. My thing is, man, it's just how I'm treated. Like, the reason why I left that job, because I was switching shelters. I was working from the shelter, and the manager knew this. The manager knew I was homeless, living in a shelter. He knew this. So I switched shelters to go to another shelter, and he told me, if you don't come in today, you ain't gonna have no job. Like, bro, I just moved from a shelter That's like somebody moving. I had to move all my stuff, take all my stuff on the train, everything, get processed, all of that and everything, and go through all of that, and then come in on the job. And here's the thing. How I know it wasn't the right perspective. He was being a jerk in the situation because my coworker, the first day I got hired, he told me that manager was a jerk, basically. That's what he told me. So I'm like, I form my own opinion. Because maybe you don't like him because you don't want to work. Maybe you don't like him because he holds you to the book, being professional. So I formed my own opinion. So I heard it, you know what I'm saying, but I didn't form my opinion, but sure enough, man, when I was switching shelters, this dude told me, "Oh, if you don't come in today, you ain't gonna have no job." Well, because of his attitude, I didn't go in. He knew I was in a shelter. If somebody tell you, I'm in a shelter, I need a place to be before I even work. I'm gonna say, see, he got in his feelings about. See, the bad thing about being a good worker is that people put unreasonable demands on you that they wouldn't put on nobody else. If somebody else did that, he probably would have let him go with it. But he want me to work a certain. He used to me working a certain way, putting my all into it. That's what it was, probably. He used to me working a certain way, and that's what he want done. So they get used to you. And then when you don't come in, oh man. Now you know what kind of day it's gonna be. You're gonna have to deal with, and it might be personality. You have to deal with this other person, and he kind of, maybe he move around the job site a little funnier than me, and I just kind of, I'm more smooth with mine, and you don't like this other guy, you know, and now you know that's what you got to deal with today, you know, and so he was like, well, if you don't come in today, you ain't got your job. See, look what that sound like. Listen to how that sound. Like he really wants me there, you know. So it's like, people call me in on my job. People let me go because I don't come in and I gotta go to a shelter. So that's the main thing, man. I done got an award for working for just great performance at the hospital. I got an actual award, not a stupid award, not a retarded award, like, because it was me and another dude running the whole hospital. We worked the whole hospital. That means all the trash, all the stuff from the whole hospital. All the women was just in the cleaners. They just clean out the rooms. We clean all the trash coming down the trash chutes of the whole hospital. It's supposed to be a 4-man job. It was cut in half, and it was just me and this other dude. And me and him ran circles around that hospital. That's why they gave me an award. That was my best job. I had a 401k, everything. You know, I worked that job good. But once again, this manager calling me up. He rolled me up because of bereavement, right? Now, my grandmother passed, right? My grandmother passed. And he told me to take as much time as I want, right? So, basic bereavement, standard bereavement is 3 days, not 1 day. Standard bereavement is 3 days. So if you tell me to take much time as I want, that's got to be more than 3 days, right? Right. It's more than 3 days. If you tell me, take as much time as I want, I'm going to assume that it's more than the standard of 3 days, which means 5 days or so. So when he told me to take as much time as I want, when my grandmother passed away. Remind you, this is my grandmother. 3 days ain't really good enough. And then he said, take as much time as you want. So that set me straight. Man, I came back on my own. He didn't call me or nothing. I came back, he wrote me up for 2 days. Wrote me up. That's insult to already injury, man, of my grandmother passing. You write me up for my grandmother? I can see if it was my cousin. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I don't hold my cousin significant, but come on. I can see if it was my cousin and, I took all this extra time and it looked like but your grandmother, I'm gonna respect that. I'm gonna really respect that, man, because that's a milestone in your family. That's a major milestone in your family. So it ain't gonna ever be enough time for you to take for your grandmother passing. So if you took, I think I took like 5 days, 7 days. I don't think I took a week. I think I took like 5 days. Man, he wrote me up for it, which makes sense because bereavement is 3 days. And I think he wrote me up. He definitely wrote me up for more than 1 day, which is 2 or better. So I felt like, how can this dude write me up? And he told me to take as much. See, I would have charged it to the game because I told you to take as much time as you want. And standard bereavement is 3 days. Standard bereavement is 3 days. Okay. So I'm going to charge it to the game because you took more than 3 days, and I told you to take as much time as you want, which is beyond the standard bereavement. If I tell you to take much time as you want, I'm not saying 3 days. That's not saying 3 days. I'm going to do that regardless, right? Okay, so if I tell you to take as much time as you want, that's beyond 3 days. That's common sense. That's why, man, I don't know, man. It's just a lot of unprofessionalism. I had that job. That was my best job, and I left because of that. Yeah, I stayed for a couple of weeks, but it just ate me up inside, man. That somebody would just write you up, and they know they told you to take as much time as you want, and it was your grandmother. I would have just them 2 things right there. Okay, I told you to take as much time as you want, and it was your grandmother. I'm gonna charge it to the game. I'm gonna let it go. You're a good worker. I'm gonna just let it go. He should have called me. That's what I'm saying. He didn't do that. After 3 days, I would have said, okay. After the 5th day, I would have said, okay, I'm going to call the 5th day. He took 3 days. He took 4 days. Okay, I'm going to call, I just wanted to see when you was coming in. He would have did that. I would have been like, well, you told me to take as much time as I want, but... And then all he got to express, well, I got it. 4 days is going to be that's good. 5 days as good as I can go. Okay, boom. Okay, I'm in. No problem. I'm going to feel some type of way a little bit because he told me take as much time as you want, but that's how it happened, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but in this country, we got assignments. And that's how we're treated based on our assignments. Like while I went down that rabbit trail, I was talking about customer service. And Hispanic and Latinos are better at customer service than we are as black people. They better at it. Because they don't come in there with a chip on their shoulder, they heart on their sleeve, none of that. They gonna come in there and get that work done. Simple. And they don't care how they treat it, really. They really don't care. But then we can kind of care because of what we've been through in this country. It's kind of that. We're a little more sensitive because of discrimination, racism in this country. That's what it is, so, so that's why we're in danger, because we don't have no assignment. If you don't have no assignment in America, you're in danger. And why I'm treated like this is back to my point. This is why this is a race war. Because I don't have my race, who I am, who I'm considered to be, we don't have any assignment. So you get treated a certain way because you don't have no your tribe, your race of people don't have no definite assignment. They can replace us with Hispanic and Latinos. They don't need us as black people. The only reason they need black people is because of rich black people. And the only reason they need us is to be consumer of their goods, the stuff that they offer, the concerts, the merchandise, everything that they got going on. They make us, the only reason they let us be here so we can buy some of this stuff that black people, rich black people put out. The movies, the music, the merchandise. That's the only assignment we got is the consumer. That's why they sell us cell phones, iPhones, all this kind of stuff. Our only assignment is to be a consumer of these temporary goods. That's our assignment. So you got to kind of have that. And that's why they keep us around, to buy all this random stuff. That's it. That's all. They take our little bit of money that we get, and whatever we buy out here, that's our assignment. That's the bottom of the barrel. That's the only reason we are here. I mean, where we're just not treated as totally disposable because we are consumers. That's the only thing. If it wasn't from us being consumers, who knows what would be done to us. But that's our only position. Other people, they're all in vocations and everything. Now you can look at these rich black people. You can look at black people that's in all these different other positions. That's not even half of us. And that's what a deception is. You see a couple people on TV, they act like that's half of us on TV. It's not. Like I explained it, 20% of the rich the black community that's rich is only 20%, right? The other 80% has nothing to do with famous stuff and money and riches and everything like that. The other 80% is in a struggle. And you can get deceived looking at this stuff on TV. You could. You can get deceived and think, oh, we can all be on TV. I remember LL Cool J is one of the people that talk to people online. I talked to LL Cool J, and you know, he was saying on one of his posts, you know, all your dreams can come true, etc., etc., woo, 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 right? But I'm like, LL, everybody can't be, everybody's dreams can't come true now. This is my comment I left. Like, everybody can dream, and he liked the comment, because it's real. Like, this was the real LL page. I'm pretty sure it was. It wasn't a fan page. Or whatever, nah. Because I could tell how he was answering and everything like that. And other telltale signs, I think. But I was like, nah, you can't, everybody's dreams can't come true. As far as like being a star and all of this stuff. How everybody gonna get a record deal? 1 million people gonna get a record deal? 1 million? What record company's gonna have 1 million people? Or how all them artists gonna get signed? The truth is, nobody wants to tell the truth. All these people, even with talent, cannot be facilitated in these record labels. No, absolutely not. So you just kind of, I think some people just think that it's good for people to have hope. Why I don't want to take somebody's hope away. That's why people let you hang on to it, because they feel like it's good, it's a comfort for you to get through life. But it's cruel if you don't really tell people, you know what? Everybody can't make it. Everybody can't make it. Everybody can't be no star, and that's just common sense, because they ain't got enough money to put all these stars out there. They can't put them all out there. They can't have concerts and shows and tours for all 1 million people. A record company couldn't afford it. And then how you gonna be on TV? How all 1 million people gonna be on TV promoting their music? Let's just say you get famous, or your label can put you on TV. How they gonna put all these people on TV and make you promote your album and all of that? They can't do that, man. Ain't nobody gonna even saturate a whole show with nothing but artists. Nobody's even gonna do that. They gonna pick the ones they like. So everybody ain't, everybody can't be on TV and all of that. I'm just realistic. That's all, I'm just realistic. Everybody can't do it, But how I feel is everybody should be able to work hard and get a decent wage. See, the only thing they ain't gonna tell you about in America is a living wage. See, a living wage is, if you notice, you won't hear Barack Obama, Donald Trump. You ain't gonna hear Donald Trump. That's what I wanted to say. You ain't gonna hear Donald Trump talk about a living wage. A living wage is not something I made up. A living wage is a certain amount of money, right? A living wage is enough money to cover your your housing, shelter, and food monthly. And it shouldn't take 3 paychecks to do it. A living wage, in my point of view, should be 1 to 2 checks, 1 or 2 pay periods. It shouldn't take 3 pay periods to produce a living wage, which means enough for you to pay for your rent or mortgage or food, and let's just say you got a car note too, and a little bit of entertainment. I throw that into the living wage too. You know what I'm saying? Because you're human, you got to have a little bit of entertainment. This is the conversation that politicians don't ever want to talk about and touch with a stick. You ain't gonna ever hear Trump talk about a living wage seriously and seriously tackle it. And you ain't gonna hear Barack Obama. You go back and listen, he ain't talk about no living wage. He might have said something, but not nothing significant. Not nothing significant, because the reason why is because a living wage forces everybody to make enough to stand on their own 2 feet, which means now I can't run these Walmarts and work these people and they can't live on their own. So really what you have, modern day slavery, is you're working but you can't afford to live on your own. That's what slavery is. And us as black people, when we get a job in our family just glad we working. That's everybody. Yeah, I'm glad you got a job. That's what your family gonna say. I'm glad you working. Oh yeah, you got a job. Oh yeah, that's good. See, we so used to just quote unquote getting the job, right? That we never even thought culturally, I'm not making enough to live on my own. We didn't make that the culture point in worldview. Like, hey, I gotta make enough to get rent and food and my personal needs, my personal things, other things. There's a little bit of entertainment. I need that, right? Okay. If at Walmart you're not getting a living wage, they expect you to live with your parents. They expect you to act like a slave and live with your family. That's the insinuation. Well, you're not giving me a living wage according to the cost of living in my city. See, it puts a pressure, this subject of a living wage put a pressure on big corporations like Walmart specifically. Because everybody ain't getting no living wage. The only people getting a living wage, starting from the beginning at Walmart as a corporation, is the managers. The managers getting a living wage. They at least getting a little apartment. Even in Charlotte, they're going to get a little apartment, you know what I mean? Get them a little car, bucket, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Get a little money, eat good, pretty decent, you know what I'm saying? They're going to take care of you because you run all these other people. You run these slaves. So they're going to take care of you. So starting from a big corporation similar to Walmart, they're going to always give a living wage to the managers. The managers is the first who getting a living wage. And the reason why is because They feel like you deserve it because of your responsibility of all these people here. You managing all these people. We gonna at least make sure you good. You ain't gonna be struggling. You gonna at least have some good well-being, you know what I'm saying, where we getting you all, you got enough, you got a place to stay, you got some food, you got a little bit of entertainment, you know what I'm saying, because you taking care of these people, you managing all these people. They gonna make sure you good. Everybody under that, you ain't getting no living wage at Walmart. No, you ain't. You ain't getting enough money to pay for rent in our present time, and food on your own from Walmart. Nope. And people didn't even catch it. You know why? Because culturally, we just glad for our own people to have a job. Oh, we got a job at Walmart. That's good. And you gonna work with your family. And that's what they expect you to do. Like we still on the plantation. When we lived in shacks together, they expect you to get with your family and make it work together. While we're not giving you a living wage, we expect you to go be with your family. And however they got their money going on, you come up under their umbrella and you work for us, and you don't even get a living wage. You don't even got enough to live on your own. See the game? So the biggest money conversation is this: a living wage. A living wage. That's the best money conversation. Ain't no bigger conversation. You can talk about entrepreneurship. Like I said, everybody can't be no star. Some people ain't built to be no entrepreneur. They just not. They don't want to do it. Some people ain't gonna run no business. They don't want to. They don't want to be a rapper or singer or athlete or anything like that. So then what? People should be able to work physically hard and get a living wage and have their own little thing going on without having to be a star or something to have a place to live, without having to be get these vocations. You should still be able to live comfortably without a vocation, right? You can't do it. You got to go to school to live comfortable or something. And people should make a way. See, this is how we know the game is racist, because how I feel is the reason why a living wage has not been talked about politically is because money in the living wage was used as racism to keep us out white neighborhoods and keep our black kids and keep bad kids out their neighborhood, because they know a mandingo is gonna work. And some of us are little mandingos. Black people, some of us are little mandingos. Some people say, well, that's an oxymoron. How you a little mandingo? But we are, physically speaking. We can work forever. We can work for, see, they knew from the beginning, we can work physically forever. So how can I stop this person? Because he or she can work forever. Even women, black women. So how can I stop him from getting to my neighborhood? If I know he can work that hard in these fields, right? From the very beginning, from slavery, we seen how he worked. Now, how can we stop him? He can work forever. And we're descendants of slaves, so it's in us to work. So how can I stop him? Oh, I'll stop the cost of living. I play with minimum wage, where he can't make it to my neighborhood based on how hard he worked. See, it's our strong suit to be physical and work hard, right? So what racism gonna do? Well, I know it's your strong suit, so I ain't gonna reward you for physical labor. I'm gonna keep you away from school, because I know you ain't either got no money to go to school, or you're not focused enough to go to school. Most of us are not stupid. We just are not focused because of all the stuff we go through in the hood, where you can't even think straight. It's not because you're crazy. You're going through too much. You're in the hood, all kind of stuff going on in your family. You got that in the back of your mind. You know, all this stuff going on. Our culture and everything is weighing on you. You can't even think straight and concentrate. That's what it is. It's that more than anything else. And so you ain't gonna be probably able to make it to school. So he gonna let that be the only way. You telling me a genius can't think, well, all these black people can work, right? Well, we gonna make a system where they can, long as they work hard, they can get a lot of money off of they. That's common sense. If I know your strong suit, you think white people don't know our strong suit is physical labor? It is. And here's the thing. Some people are not meant to go to school. So how I'm going to make a system where we only can be successful or get to a certain place without going to school? How I'm going to make a system, the only way you can be successful and have money and live a certain way is school. When I know y'all in poverty, half of the community in poverty. So I got to make a system where I can give you can work hard, use your body like some of these other people can't, and you can get a lot of money. You can get paid handsomely because you work hard, right? That's what a black man, his system gonna be. My system gonna be, if you can work hard, buddy, you can get some money. But you ain't gonna be able to shake it, and you ain't gonna be able to fake it till you make it. You gotta have to really work hard. But I know you can do it. See, that's our strong suit. Our strong suit is physical labor, right? That is. I'm not saying we're stupid now, but that's our strong suit over. I mean, look at our physiques as black people. They can put two and two together. So he made a system where you couldn't use your physique, and our physique was bigger than his, right? It don't work though in the system. How is it gonna get you anywhere? It ain't gonna get you nowhere. If a black man made this system, he would be working these black people, and they'd be getting bread. He'd be working them, working them, but you getting money because you can work that hard. You can work that hard to get money. Now, I don't know what all these jobs are out there, and they probably out there anyway, but it's manipulated. You see what I'm saying? Where you really working hard, low key, but you ain't getting no money. You still working hard though. But you're not being paid for your labor, how hard you're working. And see, that's the game, that's the deception. Low key, you should be paid way more for that labor. And they know that's our strong suit. They know you can go and work on. Everybody know that. My stepdad said that about me. Much as you walk around, you can get paid. This is what my stepdad said. You can get paid for how you walk around, how much you walk around. You can get paid for your body. That's it. This is what another black man said towards me. I'm telling you, that's what it is, man. They made a system where we couldn't get paid off of our physique. Think about it. We taller than them half the times. We bigger than them half the times. We're stronger than them. More other people half the time. Okay, if you got all these black people and you see their physique, why you ain't gonna make a system where they can use that body and get money? Think about it. That's what you would do. Oh, okay, I see all these big dudes. Okay, I'm gonna put you to work. But you're gonna get paid real good. You're gonna be happy. You're gonna be motivated. The reason why we not motivated because we don't get paid enough money. That's why. Why would you be motivated? We should just be glad to have a job. But human nature gonna kick in. You ain't gonna want to get out your bed if you ain't really getting no money. But black people, what you don't know about black people is if it's enough money, we gonna be motivated. I don't care who it is. It could be a dude that's laying around smoking weed all the time. If you tell him I can get you a job for $30 an hour, what you think he gonna say? Oh, for real? That's how we respond. Watch how black people respond in your own family. Oh yeah, man, they hiring over there for $25 an hour. We'll talk about real money. Anything else, man? Listen, we don't got no motivation for it. Should we have more? I guess we should, but we don't. Because we look at everything else that's being made. We look at all these other people making all kind of money. That's the thing about it. We know we could be doing way better, and that's what discourages you altogether in a tricky way. You don't even want to do that kind of stuff because white people ain't doing it. So why should I want to do it? And I ain't getting no money either. Listen, man, I'm motivated by money. If you tell me who's motivated by labor, just going to work just for nothing, it sounds good as a man, but keep it 100. Ain't nobody really ain't nobody really motivated just to go jump out here on the job. That's not. It's okay to feel. It's okay. I feel that way. It's okay to feel that way. Who just want to go up and work on a job site and you ain't really getting no money? Come on, think about it. That's why we ain't motivated. Now, watch black people. If you tell them you getting $25, $28, $30 on $30 an hour, you know what? We gonna think about, oh, I can get this, I can do this, I can do that, I can do all this stuff with this money. Long as we can plan with the money by pay period, we are motivated. That's the truth. But if we can't really see what we can do with the money, it's just a job, that kind of job where it's just a job. Nah, I'm not motivated. But you'll do it because it's the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? It's the responsible thing to do, right? But that's all it is. We ain't motivated because we ain't get no money on these regular jobs. No. That's what it is. It ain't laziness. And then on top of that, we don't have enough jobs right now in America to give everybody a job. So even if everybody tried to apply themselves, what you need to know is that there's not enough jobs for every American citizen here. So then what are we really doing? Because when we talk about back to being lazy, that's the first thing white people are going to say. Well, get a job. Okay, can everybody get a job? No. Now, have white America faced that issue? No, they have not. So guess what? You're not really in reality. You're not really coming to the real world where really all of us can't work. And it's a weird, give you heebie-jeebies when you really think about it, right? We all can't really work. Right? So then what are we doing? Oh, so the guys out there are supposed to just wait till there's enough jobs. Well, let's just say everybody applied themselves. So then the guys that don't get the job, what do they do meanwhile? Oh, wait for more jobs to be created? And see, that's where we at. That's the truth. Actually, we would have to wait as a community for more jobs to be created, for everyone to work. Now, all these politicians have never applied themselves to creating enough jobs for the whole community. No, I'm not talking about adding a little jobs to the workforce. No. Adding 400 million people here, right? Why couldn't it be the goal to just make 800 million job opportunities across this country? There's all kind of jobs, all kind of stuff to make it cleaner. See, if you create other jobs like other countries, the country will be cleaner. You see all this stuff out here? You can make another team besides the garbage truck employees. You have them, and a second sweep is a whole nother job site that come in, especially in New York, because a guy that works on a garbage truck ain't finna get up all on debris, all on the ground. He ain't finna do that. I mean, if he got a little time, he might do it. If he do, if time permits. But he ain't finna go all out there on the sidewalk getting all that stuff in New York. No. So then why can't you create a job where in New York another team comes through and not get the trash, specifically the debris. They get to the debris, all the trash on the ground. They pick up debris, right, all over the city. That's a job. It make it look better. It make it look cleaner. The city look cleaner and everything. Why anytime I see a problem, that's a job. Like right now in New York, I know this because when I first came to New York, this is what people do. It's people hustling right now, shoveling snow right now, going from house to house shoveling snow. That's a hustle in New York. You buy a shovel, a snow shovel. Right now, people want to get their driveways clean, their doorsteps clean, their steps clean. All you gotta do come through hustling. Yo, I do that for $10. Oh, okay. Some people don't mind handing you $10 to do all that, and I gotta do it. It's all cold out here. Oh, okay, I'll throw you $10. You know what I mean? It's like, it's some people getting their hustle on right now. They shoveling snow, getting bread. And some people did not even see the problem. A hustler gonna see a problem that he can solve. Okay, I can hustle that snow. I can listen. I go to these bodegas and say, yo, I make your store clean outside, man. Just throw me like $10, $8. $8? Yeah. Then he gonna increase it himself. I'm gonna start out with 8. Throw me $8. For what? I come out here and clean it up, make it look good, everything. Okay. I'll throw you 10. He might say 10. I'll throw you 10. You come through from breakfast to dinner. You know what I'm saying? Make this thing clean, boom. You got 2 or 3 bodegas that the guy just throws you money. All these bodegas around here, you could ask people to keep it clean. They like their stuff clean because they gonna have to do it. That's the thing about it. Eventually, the person that's at the bodega, one of them gonna have to clean outside. He give you $10, and they in there chilling on their phone. They ain't even got to worry about coming out there. You don't think he gonna like the feel of that? He ain't got to go out there. He can just chill back, drink him a coffee. When it's slow and everything, he ain't got to come out there. You don't think he gonna like that? Of course. So if I was really hustling, I'm not really doing it right now, but I mean, I'll be around here at these bodegas and everything, man. You know what I'm saying? You come, you clean up these spots. They give you some money, give you some bread. And if I'm hustling, if I was panhandling back in the day, if I was panhandling at a gas station, I clean up the whole gas station. They don't say nothing to me. If you keep their store clean around it, but I'm hustling. I'm getting money from people. But what I'm gonna do as a courtesy, I'm gonna clean up your gas station. I'm one of them type of dudes. I'm gonna clean up all the gas stations. You're gonna look good, and you ain't gonna have no problem with me coming and panhandling, cause I'm taking care of you. I'm scratching your back. I'm taking care of you. I've done that before, and that's my intention. I come clean up the whole gas station, all around, clean up all the trash, get all the debris up, while I'm waiting, which is a good pastime instead of just standing there. While you're waiting and you're getting respect. See, it's just how you do it. And the police even respect that. They say, okay, well, it's principle. Okay, well, he cleaning up around there, you know what I'm saying? What can I say? He probably got something going on with the people in there anyway. Okay, well, obviously, I mean, he cleaning up around the building. He got something going on. That's what a man gonna think. You know what I'm saying? A woman gonna respect it. Everybody gonna respect it. And then if a customer see you cleaning up around the gas station, he gonna be more willing to give you a little money. He gonna feel like you're doing something around in the community and cleaning up the gas station. He gonna give you a little money. Yeah, I see you cleaning up around here, man. You need a little. Yeah, here go $5. Boom. You know what I'm saying? He might just come to you in some cases. But see, that's how I played the game. I come up and clean up around the gas station, then I post up. After I post up, I got my respect. Now I can post up. I come around. Now they done seen me clean up out there without me asking. Like, I just go out there and start cleaning up. Boom. I post up. You gonna respect it? Okay. He earned his key. You know what I'm saying? Now I can eat off of this establishment. And you don't mind. You know, because you know every time I come through, I'm going to clean up around here. You're going to be glad to see me. Hey, what's up, man? You glad to see me because you know I'm going to clean up this debris. I'm talking about stuff they ain't done in weeks. You can tell they ain't done it in weeks and months and everything. All that kind of debris. I'm going to go all the way around the edges and the perimeters and everything, clean up all that stuff you ain't done in weeks. You can tell they ain't done it. That kind of stuff. So, you know, that's how you move. It's hustle everywhere. But see, they treated me like this because of how the black man is treated. You know what I'm saying? They gave our assignment to other people. So then that determines how you're treated. Okay, I ain't gonna really treat them. They don't really care how they treat me. Cause ain't nothing left. Ain't no accusations left. Ain't nothing left to say. So then why would something still be going on? Because of my race. That's what I'm trying to show you. Because we're conditioned to treat the black man a certain way. That's what it is. And we are even conditioned to treat other black people a certain way. But we'll treat white people so better. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk to them better. Everything. We'll put our best foot forward when we interact with white people. But when we talk with our own people, we act like we homies and cousins and family. But it's not in a positive way, it's in a disrespectful way. It's one thing to act like homies in a positive way. It's one thing to act like homies in a negative way. Where you're not really respecting me like you would respect a white man. See, I've actually checked people at a gas station. For example, this one woman, she get off at 12 o'clock. I came in there, it might have been like 11:30, something like that. It wasn't no 10 till or 15. I would feel, okay, I understand. But I used to go in there and get my coffee, right? Right. So she broke down the system, the machines for her convenience. I could tell. I knew this. So I knew it was like it might have been like at the top of the hour, like 11 o'clock. Like that. So it's like she broke it down for her convenience. And I understand what she was doing. So she can just skate off as soon as she get done. As soon as it come around, she ain't got to do it later. You know what I'm saying? And she probably feel like all the people got to go and get the coffee. They already done got it. But it could be a guy that just on his way to work. And you done broke down the machine. And for the corporation, they would actually, the top of the corporation, that's way more professional than you and your manager, he will fire you because you're losing money. He gonna look at it like all that coffee that you're spilling out, that's coffee. Some people don't care if it's at the bottom. That's coffee. That's money. And people that's customers. And now they're gonna go somewhere else. And you know what? They might fire you right then. Cause you losing money, and that's the name of the game. You shutting down the coffee machine an hour early. You know how many customers that could be? Running in, getting a cup of Joe right before they go to work. See what I'm saying? Don't know what she talking about. Don't know what she doing. So I was like, yo, why is the machine shutting down or something like that? She gave me like all kind of attitude. And I was like, look, let me tell you something. This was like 6 years ago. I was like, if I was a white man, you wouldn't have said that. She talking about, oh, I'm black too. That ain't got nothing to do with it. If I was white and I was asking you about this coffee machine, you would get it going. Yes, you would. You wouldn't give me no. See, she think I'm cool with her like a homie. Like, it ain't on no more, bro. Just, you gotta come back tomorrow, bro. White dude. Oh, well, yeah, sir, I can get you some. It's a little bit in there. Hold up a little bit. Hold up. Cause we got a little bit of time. She gonna give that extra effort. And that's what I was trying to I showed her. I told her, I tell people the truth to their face, bro. Like, look, you could be, you're not being professional, right? You're not. Because you could easily leave this machine open for another hour, right? And you could get all kind of customers. You're not here to convenience yourself. You're not here to do that. If that machine can be open for an extra hour, I want it open up for an extra hour every day. That's money. For some reason, somebody might get hip to the store and start coming in and getting a cup of Joe that last hour. But because you broke it down, they might think, oh, they break the machine down, so I can't go there, and you missing money. And that money is going to add up, right? Over time. A cup of Joe every day, right? Look at that. That's money. And then they sending other people to the store, etc., etc., etc. And you know other people going to be coming in. That's just common sense, not just one person. Now add all that up. It's about being professional. I don't care if you're a drug dealer. If you're a drug dealer and you're not professional, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be in jail. And then you got dudes that's professional drug dealers, and I'm not condoning it. And they don't ever get locked up because they're professional. You got some professional drug dealers, they don't go back and forth to jail. No. Only people that's stupid, it ain't no stripes. You got caught. Okay, you did something wrong. How you get stripes for doing something wrong? You know, you get stripes for doing the time because you held your head. I mean, boy, in most cases, I mean, especially when it comes to drug dealing, you got to check yourself. Well, okay, what did I do wrong? All them extra customers getting greedy. You know what I'm saying? Them new customers and all of that. That's what's going to get you. That's what's going to get you, them new customers. You know what I'm saying? More times than not, think about it. All them new customers, that's what's going to get you right there. Them undercovers. Being greedy, think about that money. Yeah, but then don't let them buy a significant amount. Yeah, you ain't going to turn it down. So, or unfortunately, sometimes it be a customer you knew for a long time be the one to rat you out. But somewhere along the way, you did something unprofessional. I guarantee you that's what it was. You can't even be a drug dealer. You can't be a drug dealer. You can't even be a killer. Definitely can't be a killer. An unprofessional killer, man, you'll be in jail for 20, 30 years. You'll be in jail for 20, 30 years. You got to go out. You have to go out there and make them killings clean, buddy. Like Biggie say, make them killings clean. Not ratchet. Not going out here killing and just everything. Shooting up everything. Nah. And see, a good assassin will see a whole bunch of family. Nah, we can't do nothing right now. Go ahead, slide by. We can't do nothing. There's too many people out there. The only way I would sympathize if somebody killed a lot of people is if you were trying to defend yourself and somebody came at you. See, that's what people don't understand. Okay, maybe somebody came up on you. Okay, what you gonna do? You gonna shoot and you gonna be frantic at that one moment of time before you focus. You're gonna be frantic and just shoot everywhere. That's how it happens sometimes. But some people, man, they can see a whole family out there, bro, and they do it on purpose. They think they being savages. They shoot. I done seen up to date now in the present time. They shoot up the whole funerals. That's just that's savage, bro. Shoot up the whole funeral. Dude already dead. And you shooting up the family. Literally, that's what dudes is doing these days, man. That's unprofessional. I guarantee you gonna get caught. They ain't gonna let you. Man, listen. Them police ain't gonna let you get away with that. Nah, not shooting up a funeral. The truth is, they could catch everybody. It's a game. I mean, because they got so much surveillance, they can catch everybody. You don't realize that? It's so much surveillance. Police can catch everybody doing everything. Let's say, for instance, somebody gets shot, right? If it happened to the president, they could go and check cameras. That's all they go do. And I think they can check satellites. Satellites can come and check too. See, on the higher level, you got cameras that's on the streets, and you got satellites that can go down that I believe is recording all real time. I think there's satellites that's recording real time at all time. And if push come to shove, they ain't gonna do it for everybody. They ain't gonna do it for somebody on the block. They ain't gonna go get no satellites for your family. But if it's the president, they gonna go and look at the satellites in all the real time of an environment. They're gonna go down because it's all. I think it's all being recorded. I think the satellite is recording all real time, and that's how they get all these people. If you matter enough, if you don't matter enough, they save it for police work. They give it for the police. Put them to work. Let them do it. If they get them, they get them. But and then if it's more important, see where I'm going with this? They'll add the FBI. Why don't add the FBI on every situation? Because it's overkill. At least they feel that it is. CIA is out the question. They ain't put no CIA on your cause your cousin got smoked or your brother got smoked. They ain't put no CIA on that situation. Cause they gonna let other people get money off that. And they gonna et cetera, et cetera. There's gonna be ranks and everybody get money according to the ranks of what's most important and what's not. So what's most not important, we gonna let you handle that. Whether we get the person or not, whether y'all get the person or not, that's something for you to do. That's work for you to do. See how that works? It becomes a vocation instead of really getting justice for black people a lot of times. If you're not that important, they gonna just let the police do it. Now, if you're important, like the president, CIA and FBI, they gonna get cameras, satellites, everything, and they gonna find that person very quickly. They ain't gonna put no satellites and check the footage of a satellite. Think about it. You know they got that. They got satellite real time where it's just recording and they see everything. And if they need to go back in time, I think they even got audios too. They can hear everything. But it ain't worth it. I mean, it's overkill. But for the president, if Donald Trump in trouble, they gonna go get satellites, audio, everything. Be assured they have other surveillance than these cameras out here on the streets. What you think they gonna do? Think about it. If Trump gets smoked on the boulevard, right? You think they gonna just rely on these cameras that's in front of the buildings, in front of people's houses? No, they got something else. And what I think it is satellites. The satellites records all real time, and all they gonna do is go back and get the footage just like a camera on the ground level, except this is above the whole community, and they can go in and zoom in and everything. I think so. They can zoom in. They're capable of zooming in on the real time and everything. See, what you got to realize is that the Americans are not telling us all the technology that they have up to date, because now they're beginning to use it against us as a community. That's why all this strange stuff is happening around us, and you can feel it. Your intuition telling you all the mind weapons, mind neurological weapons, all that stuff is going on. See, what the Americans stopped doing is sharing the technology that they got, making us aware of it. They don't trust us to have it. We can't have it. We'll be villains, super villains. If we had jetpacks, we'll be super villains. We had laser guns. They probably got laser guns too. But how you gonna incorporate that into the present time, where if people can get the technology and make replicas, that too. Then you got ghost guns. Ghost guns done took it to the next level. You can make any gun by 3D print. That's a new lane. You ain't even got to go to it might jam a little bit. I think that's the only thing, but you can go make ghost guns of any kind of gun you like. Hey, that's very tempting. That's why people do it. They make all kind of guns, man. I seen a whole video on that, ghost guns. That's the new thing where people can 3D print off a computer and make all the technology, add all the material. The material will be made into the 3D gun design. It'd be all the stuff, all the in and outs of a regular gun, Glocks, all that kind of stuff, assault rifles, everything. But they got more technology, man, than us, for sure. They got stuff that we don't even know about that ain't on the market. Everything you see is not on the market. Everything you see ain't on the market. The Americans are using all kind of technology as a government, as that kind of. There's two type of communities. There's the civilian community and the government community. They are a community. They are a community. If anything bad happens, they got bunkers. They're going to go into bunkers. They're not going to be out here with you. And rich people aren't going to be out here with you. It's two different communities. The rich, the government, well, I'll say three. The rich, the government, and the poor. And I guess you could say middle class. I mean four. Let's go for four. For the sake of differentiating based on what one has and what one doesn't have, right? A middle class might have a little more. They might have a little more food or whatever when this stuff happens than obviously the rest of us. They might have a good cupboard full of food. I mean, macaroni, hamburger helper. They got some hamburger helper in there. Hey man, but look, It's all kind of technology. It's all kind of technology that they got, man. That's what's going on. That's why everything is psychological. It's all psychological. In my point of view, World War III starts with guerrilla warfare and psychological warfare. That's what's going on. Guerrilla warfare is when they use the community against you. That's what they're doing. Basically, that's what gang stalking is. Using the community against you. It's guerrilla warfare. Guerrilla warfare is when a community uses not only the military, but they use the community. Like, they all are up in arms in different ways. And in this case, in America, it's a psychological war. They up in arms in guerrilla warfare in psychological war as Americans out here against us in these neighborhoods. That's why you go through the blocks and it's all this guerrilla warfare. All these people, what is that? That's guerrilla warfare, buddy. That ain't obviously conventional warfare, standard warfare, orthodox warfare. It's unorthodox. Basically, guerrilla warfare is unorthodox warfare. Using any and everybody. Utilizing everybody, better to say. And that's what America is going through right now, is guerrilla warfare. That's what's going on. Go look it up. Educate yourself on guerrilla warfare, because that's definitely what's going on. You know, and because that's what gang stalking is. Like I said, to me, it's utilizing the whole community against you, and some people just get what word I use? Frantic. You could say frantic. Stir crazy. Paranoid. PTSD. All that from gang stalking. But, like I said, whatever purpose